38 of
38. It's in the notes.
What?
38. You're correct.
Iconic Productions Friday Night Show. I'm Josh, the Dungeon Master and World Builder for our D&D 5e adjacent campaign. With us tonight are Grace, playing Vera, the halfling retired crime boss. Jenny, playing Talia, the half-elf. Nope.
Every week.
This. Jenny, playing Daphne, the orc former tribe plainswoman, now legionnaire. Woo, getting there. Nick, playing Guth, the Goliath barbarian druid, and Mary, playing Almanya. How do we put this now? Like Almanya sub Liliana?
Almaliana. Wait, no.
Liliana's currently in the background, but she'll start making some appearances. Don't worry.
The former dragonborn bard, now ravenfolk bard sorcerer. Anyway, we're delighted that you're with us tonight. Without further ado, we're going to jump back into when we last left our heroes. All right, get rid of that. When we last left our heroes, you guys were still in the Empire of Vreem. I may need some correction here because all of Vreem has just, all of the time you spent here has just kind of melded together. But when we last left off, you guys had wandered around trying to find somebody to send a message for you back home. Eventually, you paid the Academy 400 gold to send 2 sendings, and got quite a bit of information back. Okay, yes, it's amazing and funny, but I'm not repeating my intro, so pay attention. All right, so you did that. You found out that Anisher and your home and your people are holding but in trouble.
Screwed.
And
I believe is the technical term.
Sure.
Biblical term, at least.
Shortly will be screwed. What else did you do? You attended day 1 of the
Maktan.
You saw some of the kind of early low-level fights, and then you attended kind of the round of 32, a number of tremendous fights amongst just high-level Jaegers.
I saw the jump spell where everyone jumped really high, which I thought was a bad choice, but yeah.
Nothing happened to gravity at all. You got, let's see, you sort of picked up and then rejected and then picked up again this young half-orc gentleman who really wants to learn how to fight and is just kind of dumb and bad at it.
I might have plans for that kid.
Goose does.
Goose has plans. I've heard them.
You have arranged to meet him both at his lodgings and at the Mars ward at the same time in the morning.
No, we cleared that up.
Not with him.
Wait. We cleared that up with each other. That is true.
Yes,
I will go pick him up.
Not with him.
I'll go pick him up.
Well, Guth gave him the choice, which is important to him.
So we'll see what happens. Speaking of things that Guth did, he may or may not have mocked a very high-level Jaeger party, all of whom seem to have been flayed at some point in their lives and somehow survived. Daphne took a look at the wares in the Red Ward and stopped by the Temple of the Moon Maiden, offered her services, and met George again. Letters. Daphne received orders. She needs to report on, I think, the 6th of Devotion, but until then you have leave. Almanya has to report to the Temple of the Moon Maiden on the 7th of Devotion for something to discharge the debt she owes for being resurrected. And I think those are the key events. So,
what date is it?
I'm sorry?
What date is it? Because they said they wanted me there by the 8th.
No, you need to be there by the 7th of Devotion. It's it's currently the month before. I think it's the 10th or 11th of
About a
trade.
month.
12th of trade.
No, we're going into the 11th.
And how many days are in a month in your world?
There are 27 in trade.
Okay.
And 25 in devotion. I do have a note here, though. The 7th of devotion is about 24 days now.
Okay.
So
That gives me some time to rest up at least.
yes, so I think we closed out at night on the 10th. So on the morning of the 11th, you all wake up. Everybody except Daphne. Excuse me. You guys are still in the Mars ward. You've got, I think, 8 days now to find lodging elsewhere. But we're going to open up with Daphne, who spent the night in the essentially
With Iran.
mansion owned by a very small family of ex-slaves. Stop it. So, Daphne, you wake up in the morning. There is food. It's just Iran and his wife. Just a very small breakfast. But as you kind of peek your head into the kitchen, they don't bother setting out anywhere. They just kind of make and eat in the kitchen. Again, this place is way too large for both of them. But as you kind of peek your head in, there is a third plate of food prepared for you. And
All right.
you walk into the kitchen. They're sitting there eating. And Iran, Silver Dragonborn. Good morning, Daphne.
Good morning, Iran. How are you?
I am well. It is too bad that Ziza can only stay a few days out of the year, and we miss her every time, but
I'm
such
sure
is-
you do miss her, but you know that she is very well cared for with Loravis, yeah? And Loravis takes good care to keep the others off of her back. And she holds her own quite well from what I remember.
From the sound of things, it seems as though Ziza and her pet will soon be looking for Loravis.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that both of my friends are in good hands with one another. But what of you and your lovely wife? What will you do?
We have been practicing our craft here.
Yeah.
I am an apprentice in the Eisen ward, and my wife is training Jaegers in the Colosseum.
So those are both very honorable pursuits. And I think that I've never really inquired about this before, but you have what you need and you are making a good living, yeah?
We have more than enough. Until Ziza comes of age, the Empire will require no service from the family.
Well,
When time comes, we will likely downsize.
Well, I am sorry that you are missing the opportunity to do service to the Empire, because truly that is where you can find true contentment in life. But
You're talking about the Freeman Empire or the Dragonborn Empire?
The Freeman Empire.
Okay.
Daphne is talking about the Dreamin' Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As I was about to say, Daphne.
Surprise! Daphne is an adherent of the Red Goddess.
I was just
No. Not this time. Maybe next time.
We serve at the level of our capability.
Yeah,
We are
and
content.
that is most honorable. Yeah. So I wonder, Aran, you have been most generous with the hospitality in your house to me, who only peripherally sort of knows your family. I wonder if I might impose a slight bit further on your sense of hospitality.
It is no imposition. Whatever we can do to help.
Well, there's a couple of things really that I would like to ask about. One is the group that was with me when I came and we talked to Laura Weiss, yeah, the group.
Yes.
Yes. Did Ziza and Laura Weiss tell you what happened?
I know that Laura Weiss used powerful magic to bring the Dragonborn back.
Yeah, well, she's not a Dragonborn anymore. She's actually quite a pretty bird, but
The magic did not work fully then.
I think it's complicated. Laura Weiss seemed to think that it worked well enough, and she wasn't expecting to be able to return the Dragonborn to the same body necessarily. I think there was some chance that could happen, but I don't know. It's very complicated and far above my meager connection.
Then even further above mine, and I will not second guess the shaman.
Yeah, well, I think that if you did, you would be in good company, because I think she does that to herself sometimes. But what I'm asking, Aran, is that group that is with them, they have recently gotten their way out of the Mars Fort. And, well, I believe that it took most of their money. And I think that they spent most of the rest of their money at the university later. So I wonder if you might be willing to give them a place to stay.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Literally, don't roll a nat 1.
He's tailless, right?
He and his wife is. Ziza is not.
Ziza has her tail. Okay.
That was pretty darn close.
Damn close to a 1. Aram looks at you and says, they are a respectful and quiet group. Yes?
No, they're not. Not particularly. Well, most of them are, but there's one who, well, he's a bit messy, yeah? But I'm sure if you give him things to break and people to hit on occasionally, he'll be fine.
Cetra and I are not old, but our lives have not been quiet, and we have been enjoying the solace of this place.
Yeah.
Your friends, or if not the people you brought earlier, can have the upper level and can use the kitchen. But when in the house, if they would stick to the upper level, that would be appreciated.
Well, your hospitality is greatly appreciated, at least by me. And I'm sure that they call her Ma, yeah? I'm sure that she will appreciate you very much. And I'm sure that the skinny one and the bird one will also appreciate. But you might just, I don't know what to do with Guth. He's kind of, how do you say, a wild card.
We have only made use of some of the rooms, so long as he only breaks things in the other rooms, then we will have no cause for complaint. It is the Empire that he will answer to when we are finished with this residence.
See, once you tell someone you can break everything in this room, it's no longer fun to break
But you're
things
not
in that
there.
room. I'm just saying.
So no one's insulted
somewhere
anything yet.
Youth wakes up with a start. No.
He sneezes somewhere across the town,
Tell them they can move in at any time, and when they are ready, we will come and carry their stuff.
Oh, there's no need for that. I will hire the porters.
They will be staying in our house. I could not ask you to cover that cost.
Well, Aran, actually, I might know a member of the Porters Guild who would do it for me as a, shall we say, personal favor. I'm not trying to hide anything.
I know, and he rolled an 18. There is mischief in your face and tone, but I will not ask. Do as you will.
I guess Ziza probably hasn't gotten to that point yet. So,
As I said, I am not asking.
well, at any rate, and then about the other thing, you're a crafter, yeah?
I work steel, yes.
Well, that's not quite in the realm that I was looking for. But perhaps you might know of someone in the Merchants Guild or the crafting sector that would know how to make a musical instrument. I believe that the bird needs one. She said it's a lute. I'm not sure. I'm sure I've seen one. I just don't pay attention to that sort of thing.
I work in the Eisen ward. For instruments, you would need the Ars ward. And I know of no particular crafters there.
Very well. That's all right. Thank you.
Of course.
And I have
kind of takes your plate to go and wash them.
I have some free time in the next couple of weeks. If you need anything done around the place, I would be happy to help with anything you need. Or any errands you need run.
We need few things, and Zaetra enjoys the outer marketplaces herself. But I do not think that she would say no to company.
Well, and if she needs a sparring partner, I can't have my skills getting rusty, yeah?
Of course. All right.
I'll just go help Zaetra with the rest of the washing up.
Okay, you wash up and you continue about your day. I assume shortly before dawn, Vera and Guth wake up
And go to the training pit or whatever it is.
All right, so you guys are at the Mars Ward field, or you head out there, and to find out whether you actually see anybody there, I'm gonna go ahead and roll a percentile die.
Well, you can roll it, but I'd like to chat with Guth briefly, unless he's already there, the kid.
Let's find out real quick.
Sure. Okay. You know what? I will roll it because I never roll persuasion or anything, so it seems right that I will roll.
Okay.
I will roll the percentile.
So before you roll,
it's queued up.
I figure there's probably about a 70% chance that he's going to show up here. Right? Because
It's scarier than me.
No, it wasn't intimidation.
No,
it was
it
right,
kind
how
of
much
was.
you want it. Whereas you guys were like, yeah, we'll teach, we'll train you, right? We'll come pick you up. Guth hit him a little bit harder. So I figured it was about a 70. So 1 through 70, the kid shows up.
Pretty much like Vera was like, okay, we'll train you. That dude was an asshole, but we'll train you. And Guth said, if you're a man, you'll show up here. So
So go ahead and roll that percentile die.
And click.
That was so close to a 92. It's like, oh god. Okay.
Yeah.
As you guys have a few moments to chat if you wanted as you walk to the field.
Yeah. So as I'm walking,
Dude got up early. He was
I'm
about
getting
an
up at
hour.
the same. Yeah.
Sure, he was about an hour earlier than you were supposed to meet, and there's like already there kind of thing. I mean, I assume that if you're waking up early, we can walk together.
Well, at least I'll meet you there. We'll beat the kid there, whatever.
Sure.
But I mean, both literally beat the kid there, but also we're going to beat the kid. But besides that,
well, later.
Yes. So I don't know. I might walk up to you in the field if you're there first. And sort of sit by you. And I'm just imagining this visual because it's a little tiny half-like in this ginormous Goliath. But I'll just stare. I'll look to the east and just look at the rising sun for a bit. And then just say to you, Goose, do you ever think of your home anymore?
Are you kidding? I think of my home every day. I dream of my home in the moments when I am awake and when I am asleep. I can't imagine ever staying here. I feel like I am shriveling up. I think of my home every day, and even in this place, the sunrise is not the same. We don't get to see the sun rise above the horizon. You don't get to wake up with the sun. You are awake, and then the sun comes above the walls. That's not life. It's as if you are waking up and being in just, it's like this city is spitting in your face and being like, don't worry, you can sleep in another 3 fucking hours because the sun won't be above the walls. Yeah, okay, all right. You gave me a pass before. I will allow it. We had a spirited conversation before. Anyway, I'll work on that. It's really hard not to talk about these walls of the city in anything but a derogatory term. Anyway, short answer, I do think of my home where life is life and you don't just have it fed to you.
It's funny you say that the sunrise isn't the same, because it really isn't, is it? But the truth of the matter is you have a mission, you have a calling, you have a purpose for leaving, and when you're finished with it, you will go back, will you not?
Absolutely. I would leave now if I was strong enough. And I was shown in the pretty humiliating way, if I'm being honest. Like, I tried to wear it well, but fuck, that dude kicked my ass. I mean, no, it was close. I knew I was close. And it's always hard to be the person who, like, just lost a fight and be like, oh no, it was real close. But, like,
It was very close.
Anyway, sorry. All right, I'm gonna go a completely different route if I keep talking about that. Anyway, this is where I am now.
Yes, but it's not where you'll be forever. It's
Damn right.
I left my home with a purpose, and the purpose has been fulfilled, or at least part of it has. The original inciting incident has been fulfilled. Almanya lives. And the rest of what mission I laid upon myself, I don't know if it's even possible.
Ma,
And
can
now
we...
I have learned that
Oh, you got more to say.
my
Please.
family may be in trouble. My family may be in trouble. If you heard that your tribe might be annihilated, you would go to them.
Well, I guess it makes sense. Ma, you have a lot of sons, and my people have a lot of tribes. What if one of your sons was just gone? And you don't know why. And you don't know where she went. I know you haven't been very lucky in the sensibility side of your procreation. But that's how I feel in the same way.
Vera does snort with laughter though when you say that. Even in this moment. Even in this moment.
So,
it's interesting you say that because one of my grandchildren is gone with no explanation. And the truth is, I left my home for many reasons, and one of them, I think, was a mistaken one. I thought that I was useless. I thought I was no longer a part of it. I thought I had aged out. I thought, and this you would understand, I thought I was too weak to go on. I thought I was too weak to be a part of it all. And so I left to myself, to prove to my sons they could stand without me. They didn't need me anymore. But now I find it's not true.
You wanted to find if you could stand without your sons, right?
No, I wanted to know if they could stand without me. And now I'm wondering if I was wrong. I thought they might, but I didn't even know if they would notice I were gone.
Ma, the most important part of carrying a weight, say you are pulling a sledge with two friends. It's you and your best friend. And you are pulling. In the second that someone lets go, the person who is carrying the weight still will buckle and feel weak, feel powerless. And they will slow their strides, but when they keep walking, they will know that they can pull. And then the sledge moves faster. And they push harder, and the sled moves even faster, and then they are pulling it by themselves. It's still hard. I think your sons are buckling. I think your sons are realizing how much you matter to them and how much stronger they need to be. See, when you are pulling a sledge with two people, your thought is, hey, as long as I am as strong as the other person, we will be fine. But when you pull a sledge by yourself, you realize you can't only be as strong as your partner. You need to be even stronger than just another one of your partner, because it's only you. I think, honestly, what you have done is most noble, and your sons will be better for it. could take away from the fact that they will be stronger knowing that someone has left them. They lost their greatest strength, their mother. I mean, I'll tell you, my mother, she kicked my butt. Please don't hit me.
That is a perfectly innocent word.
Okay, I didn't know what word to use because I thought that if I said she would hit. She made me stronger.
I like the sound of her.
Her name was Olatu the Cruel, so I feel like you're better off if people call you Ma.
Oh, I like her name so much more. What a title.
I was so scared of her. I feel like I haven't been able to tell anybody that because, I had to be like really cool in front of my friends, but like, holy shit, that woman scared me. Like, I didn't even wake. Like, I would wake up and be like, I hope I didn't sleep in late. And it was just, oh man.
If it comforts you, I speak mildly from experience. I didn't let my boys sleep in either. She did it out of affection. I'm certain.
Oh. What?
To make you stronger.
Affection's a tough word. Affection.
Love, then.
Yeah, I would agree with that word. Affection seems like a different word.
Right. It was
I don't
love.
know.
Love can be hard.
I feel like there wasn't a lot of soft in my world. As you can see from the just blatant disdain from Daphne, there wasn't a lot of soft. Their form of care was, if you're strong, carry on. If you're not, get forgot. Which is really weird with tense anyway. It's a silly saying, but we're orcs.
I like it.
So anyway, your sons are stronger. I feel like you left for a different reason, and as we're saying, it has a lot to do with your sons. However, you left for their sake, but I feel like you also left for yours.
Oh, I know I did that. That's why I was concerned I did it more for that than for them. But I've proved something to myself by doing this. To be perfectly honest, I was sitting in a little house, baking. Certainly within 4 walls, you would have not approved one little bit. But I've stepped outside the walls, and I've proved I could take it. And now I don't think there's anything left to prove, at least not to me.
I think you are the only person that needs anything to prove. The only person whose opinion matters, really. I can walk in this freaking city. Is that okay? Can I do that one?
That is perfectly. It's a euphemism. It works just fine.
Anyway, they can tell me that I am worth some silly number of damage. But as long as I believe that I am worth so much more damage than that, who gives a shit what Faustus... Fuck, his name. I never remember.
Smack. This conversation's great. How many bruises am I going to give you?
Well, probably none. He'll just keep getting slapped in the face.
Exactly. It's pretty impenetrable. Yeah. Yeah, pretty impenetrable.
Yeah, you're competing with the bruises of Olatu the Cruel, so
That is very true.
you're gonna have
These
to
are more like,
hit a little harder.
the little reminder smacks, like a head smack up the back of the head. It's that type of smack when I do a smack. But
Anyway,
you're right, and
prove yourself to be strong. I feel like you've been calling for somebody. There's been somebody that you've been calling for, and I can see it, but I don't know who. And I think that's not to enforce any type of faith on you, but the spirits guide us.
well, I know who guides me, and I'm not sure it's a spirit. And honestly, that was part of it too. You talk about two people pulling a sledge. I pulled my sledge with one person for all my life, and that person was gone. And I didn't think I was strong enough to keep pulling, but I was, it seems. But now it's turned out, perhaps he never left. And, I think I've proven something to myself, maybe to him as well. And it doesn't seem so hard anymore.
Well, maybe. Although there were two of you pulling the sledge, it was just one person, united in love. Anyway, can we beat this kid up?
As you say that,
Listen,
kind
where
of
is that kid?
the sun has now illuminated kind of this whole camp as it comes up, and you can actually see at the far end of the field there is a figure, great shield planted, like just swinging at nothing, waiting for you guys.
Aww. Look, it's our little idiot kid. Okay. I start walking towards him with my tiny legs. The goose will probably beat me to him.
Okay,
You are much faster than Guth is.
Oh, good point. I keep forgetting that.
Currently, he's still at 25 movement speed.
Oh,
And
goodness.
You're at 35, so.
Guth is walking slowly anyway, but yeah.
You guys,
He's relishing the shadow he's casting.
as you walk out of the rising sun. That's amazing. He doesn't notice you guys until you're a good, like maybe 10 feet away from him. He's just standing there behind the shield, just, and you can see there are dark circles under his eyes, and he looks exhausted.
Oh no.
He's probably been here all night.
Oh, okay.
What are you guys doing to the poor kid?
Well, Quran.
Well, hold on. Have we talked to anybody? What's my plan was when we got here. I was gonna talk to my Rooktag friends and be like, "Hey, I know you need this training ground. If you guys want something to watch during your water break, this won't take long. Can we use your facilities?"
I mean, it's long, so there are squads right jogging kind of the perimeter of the Mars ward. There are no like full Legion drills happening at the moment, and this field is very large. So you're not competing for space at all. But yeah, you call out to squads kind of as they pass by, and you can see some have finished their morning things and have kind of stopped and are drinking and watching. So yeah, you've got a small audience.
Where's my highest ranking Rooktag friend?
Give me a perception check.
I will roll that.
Yay! I can't roll above a 10. Okay.
Well, if we do anything like last week, better than last week.
Okay.
Might be the highest one.
Very nice.
Condritter is kind of the highest rank you see here. It's mostly just legionaries and Condritters.
Sure. I'll walk up to him and let's say, "Hey, smelly face. I can do better than that. Okay, sorry. My brain's a little scattered. I'll get you a better insult next time I see you. Anyway, watch this one. this is going to be someone who is either going to be very worth your time or not worth your time at all.
And exhibition no, what was that? Sorry. So it's the exposition training. Excellent. Yeah, go for it.
Sure. I also want to let you know, he will probably be beaten within an inch of his life or smaller. Don't intervene.
A centimeter of his life.
Yeah, just make sure you don't kill him. Yeah, I mean, like if you kill him, it's like they take you outside the empire and execute you. So like, really, don't kill him.
I mean, yeah, I get that. But you know that I have the healing capabilities. I wanted to let you know first. There's this weird, like, she's got the flower in her hair. Honestly, if I have to be honest, she's cute. I know she's cute, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like, obviously anyone would be attracted to her, but you're almost like, you're too attractive, anyway, she's been.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Right. So we've gone from like not killing the kid, and now we're talking about this other person. I'm confused. It looks like it started though, so you might want to, and Guth, when you look over your shoulder, Vera, what does he see? What have you been doing during this conversation?
Well, I have very calmly asked Karan why he is here.
I'm here to fight. I don't know. I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn how to, kill and I don't know, be better in the Colosseum.
All right, watch your footwork, and I will do monk crap around him and destroy his face.
Are you hitting him?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, but what I'm doing is I'm doing essentially like little judo takedowns where I'm not punching him, but like I'm just taking out his ankles. So every time he stands up,
just repeatedly knocking the wind out of him with the ground.
Yes.
as you drop into a stance, he plants the great shield and like huddles behind it, and you just kind of come around the side and just take his feet out from under him, and he falls sideways, and he gets up, plants the shield again, right? Doesn't look around or over it, just like plants it. And he's not a little guy, right? You don't think there's any way in hell that if you came directly at him that you would ever knock down that shield. But he blinds himself to the point where you kind of like dance around one way and then the other knock his legs out from under him.
The second
fact
time
that he's exhausted is not helping.
Yes.
Go for it.
But the second time he plants it, I'll just say very calmly as he hits the dirt, don't use the same technique twice.
I mean, he kind of peeks over. But the shield is, there's only one way to use a shield, right? You put it in between you and the other person, and then.
And the minute he says that, I scamper around to knock him over again.
Okay, so Guth, you're watching this as you're talking about Daphne. So continue.
Like, Nick is upset by this. I can't imagine how Guth feels. Sure. Guth kind of was looking at the conjurer and he says, he just kind of like pats him on the shoulders, but like, I'll be back. It's on me. And he just keeps walking. Like,
okay.
And he's just like power walking towards this kid. Like,
okay.
When Vera sees Guth coming, she'll just like step calmly aside, stand with her hands behind her back, and just say down to Karan on the floor, I think my friend wants to talk to you.
He looks over at Guth coming and really quickly like gets to his feet, stands straight up, like shield at his side. Guth, what are you doing?
I'm just power walking at him, and just like 60 feet away. Get ready.
he plants the shield in front of him. Vera, you're on the other side of the shield, so you can see him. He is just like full planted against the inside of the shield.
Oh my
Don't use
God.
the same technique thrice.
When Guth is about 15 feet away, he looks back at you, panics a little bit, like puts the shield like covering like half of his body, and like has the sword ready. And Guth, he kind of peeks out right as you get to him.
I'm just gonna like full run right at it and just drop kick the shield and just like hit the shield and be like, what were you planning to do with that? Like, hit me if you want, but that's
cool.
I'm gonna reckless attack that too. Like,
he's
just
gonna
say
attempt to swing at you.
Oh,
With disadvantage, he rolled a 16.
hits, meets beats.
Give me a straight athletics check as you kick the shield.
Do I get advantage because I said reckless? I think it's just a strength check. I'm not reaching.
Reckless?
But...
It's reckless? Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Oh, shoot, sorry.
Oh, Jesus. Cool. Fantastic. Natural 20. He rolled a 3 on his contested athletics. So, you know what,
Oh,
Goose?
poor kid.
What happens as he like swings out and like scores a little bit across your chest, but it's just kind of like this thin line of blood that just kind of starts to drip down. You don't even feel it. What happens as you kick his shield?
Very much for the full 60 feet from when Guth says, get ready. It's just a methodical walk. Like, he doesn't speed up at all. He's just walking right at him, and then he just picks up his knee and just fucking kicks the trash can over is essentially what happens. He just kicks him over and then just, like, continues stride and is standing over him with, like, Karan with his, like, shield splayed out on the ground. And he's just standing over him and saying, what were you going to do with that shield?
Okay, roll a d10 and add your strength modifier to it.
11.
11, cool. The shield is, 6 feet away from him as he's just splayed. You can see like this red welt starting to develop on his forehead where the edge of the shield just like cracked him right in the head. Well, if I was strong enough, and he starts trying to get to his feet, you wouldn't have been able to do that. I need to hold on to it harder.
I scamper around and kick him over again. The minute he says strong enough, I'd be really fast.
You trip him again onto the ground.
Dearie, I'm not very strong.
Yeah, well, I don't have the shield. He starts getting up again.
Oh, don't worry. I'll get you the shield, and I'll just walk over, pick it up, and hit him with it. I'll just like, grab it like a panel of metal and just smack it against him.
Roll an attack roll with advantage, because he's prone.
That is a plus 3.
It would not be with proficiency, because I'm going to call this an improvised weapon.
Sure.
But a 17 plus definitely hits. So it'll be 1 plus your strength modifier. So how much damage?
4.
4? Okay. You crack him upside the head. He gets flattened. I'm gonna just real quick roll a con save here. Okay. He's a little bit dazed, but he starts trying to get up again.
See, this is what I was expecting. You were going to come in here. Honestly, you showed up with the weaponry. There was going to be like a whole test of like, hey, grab what you need to fight me. And you were going to grab weapons. But you showed up with weapons. You showed up with a weapon. And honestly, a fucking shield? Are you a fucking idiot? I'm just gonna frisbee toss the thing at him. Just take the panel and just throw it at him.
If you like decapitate this kid, I'm never gonna forgive you. This poor child.
We can't kill him.
Try and catch it. With disadvantage. He'll take a point of damage, but he kind of catches it and he's like, "What do you want me to do? Shield is what I'm good at." And he puts his arms kind of back through the straps, and he's starting to get a little bit angry.
Oh, right. The shield's what you're good at. And again, like as he threw it, didn't break stride, still walking at him, doesn't break stride, kicks him again.
Okay, this time he is hunkered full behind it. Give me an athletics check. If you want to, is there a limit to your reckless, or is it just anytime you want?
Well, it's just every turn. However, I'm not raging, so whatever. I mean, it's kind of a weird, like, Goof's not trying to defend himself. He's literally walking at him and hitting him.
Yeah. So yeah, you can make that reckless if you'd like.
That's a mod 20.
Mod 20. Okay. You slam your foot into it, and he like skids back a little bit, but this time he manages to hold it, and he kind of drops the shield to his side and says, "See, if I'm prepared and I can really just anchor it down, I'm fine. This is what I'm good at."
I'll zip around and knock him over again.
He goes right down and like starts to get up again. Well, I mean, there's two of you, right? It's 2-on-1, right? Just one of you. And he kind of stands there looking between you, not sure what to fight.
Okay, Ma,
Yes.
it sounds like it needs to be 1-on-1 for him to really learn this thing. I don't want to tell you not to do anything. However, there's part of Quran that thinks that the fact that there are two of us makes a fucking difference.
True. I'll step aside. This is really fun to watch. Quran, just to keep in mind, your enemies generally don't queue. And I will just step aside and stand there with my hands behind my back.
He looks towards you, Vera, away from Guth, and is just like, "Well, yeah, but it would be even worse without the shield." And Guth, what do you do as he turns back to look at you?
Okay. I threw it at you. And you feel like it's still an advocate for. Are you a shield?
Yeah. Shield is an extension of me.
Is it?
Yeah?
Well, it looks like we have something to do. And I'm just gonna run up and kick him again. Just like kick square in the shield. Like not anything else, but just only the shield.
Okay. Give me athletics with advantage.
Not my best. That's a 15.
15 with disadvantage. He beats it by 1. So you like kick the shield, and it's not one of those like you try to kick the door in and you end up launching yourself the other way, but you slam your foot into the shield and it holds, and you get rocked back half a step. You can hear from some of the legionnaires like, "That's a good stance. Yeah, I want him into shield wall."
I'm just gonna kick it again.
I told him, service is the empire.
Guth, you find yourself in the same position as kind of you and Quran are basically reenacting what you watched the barbarian woman in the Colosseum do. As he just, he holds on to the shield, and for a while he holds it rock solid, and you just start to beat him down, just over and over again, hammering the shield into him.
I know. I'm kicking it again.
Okay. Yeah. Just give me 3 athletic checks with advantage.
That's a 21. a 23, a 20.
Okay. Yeah. You slam into it a few times, and then finally you hit the shield. It snaps back. You hear a blunk, and he collapses unconscious.
I'm going to use healing word. I'm going to shout at him, "Get up!"
You healing. Go ahead and give me the dice there.
5.
So he's at 5. Okay.
Josh, he was a half orc, right?
He is a half orc.
So did he come back to 1 when he went unconscious the first time?
That's a fair point. So he hits the ground. So we'll put him at 6. He comes up. Guth, we're gonna roll a passion real quick.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have used healing word unless he was on the ground.
He was on the ground. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
For narrative purposes. He gets up, throws the shield to the side, and goes for your neck. He is now raging, which means he's rolling this flat. He misses. So he leaps up at you, and you just kind of stiff arm him and knock him back a step. What are you doing?
I mean, I don't stiff arm him. Like, if I see him come back from, like, on the ground to stand up and I'm going to fucking stab you, I don't stop him.
No, he's not stabbing you. He is literally biting at your neck. The kid who came off the ground is not the kid who hit the ground. You see the rage, and he just launches himself at your neck. So if you're not trying to stop it,
no, I'm not.
Then you take. If you're not trying to stop it at all, then you just straight take 7 points of damage as he just bites into the side of your neck and just rips skin away.
I am gonna slow clap.
You slow crap.
Slow crab.
Slow clap. Woo. He spits the skin out and just screams in Guth's face.
I'm just going to step forward and just give him just a straight old haymaker right to the face.
Cool. He's not trying. He went reckless. So give me the attack with advantage.
24.
So he'll take 4 damage. You're not proficient? Barbarians are not proficient in unarmed.
No.
Okay. So he'll take 4, halved to 2. Okay. He starts hammering at you. Hits the mod 20. And you'll take 4 points of damage as well.
Gotcha. Same thing.
He is screaming as he just hammers at your face. The whole time, every time kicked out, not enough, just smashing into you.
I'm going to scream, right, not enough. And I'm going to hit him in the face again.
Okay. For the purposes of this, I don't think either of you are going to miss each other. not with both of you recklessing. So you smash him again. And he just keeps slamming into your face. Never enough! Never enough! And when you hit him again, he goes down.
I'm going to use healing word again.
Okay.
Get up! Hold on. 5.
Okay.
This is what gives people brain trauma for like the rest of their lives, is being constantly knocked out and like healed and knocked out and healed.
Football.
His brain.
I did it for 8 years, if anyone's wondering, and I'm fine. Well,
Are you sure?
I do play Dungeons and Dragons, so I don't.
He lasts. He's got 5 now, so he will last another 3 rounds. So you will take another, I guess, 12 points of damage.
Sure. Well, Josh, there's a difference. He
Yeah.
can't reckless. He can't like relentless anymore.
Oh, I know.
So the thing is, when he gets up again, he says, Guth will be like, let's see if it's from you and not from your blood. And he'll just like hit him again. Like he's just going to just straight cold cock him right in the head again.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying is unless something changes, he lasts a couple more rounds and then he's out again.
Sure, he still keeps getting up and raging.
No, he got up the second time to rage and then he was out. If you bring him back again, he's at 3. Or no, he started with 1. He's at 4 points of exhaustion. And he does not like you. If you healing word him again, he is just laid out on the ground, just like bleeding. His face is just a mass of like blue purple pulp.
Sure. So I do it again.
Out. Yeah.
And I'm looking at him. I say, the strongest part of you is not the shield. Do you want this? And I'm just standing in front of him, like just standing in front of him again, not resisting, just standing there. I healing word him again.
Yeah. Yeah. I want it.
Show me.
He is trying to get to his feet, and he just flat cannot. What is 4 levels of exhaustion at this point? Exhaustion. Yeah. Okay. So no, he can actually crawl to his feet and slowly manages to get up and kind of lurches at you.
Yeah. Like, if he just rolls forward and just makes contact with no damage and then falls over again, like, Guth will just hit him again and then healing word him again.
I guess, that's his maximum have. Okay. Are you, how many times are you planning to do this? Because the next time you get him up, his speed is reduced to 0. If he takes 1 more point of exhaustion, he will die. I'm not talking death saves. I mean, he will die.
No, yeah, I understand.
And from what you see, if you healing word him again, he's gonna get up. If you knock him out again, he's gonna die.
Okay, so I mean, I'll do it the 1 more time that won't kill him.
Okay.
But let's say we hit him again and he's at 0. Speed is 0.
Yep.
And
speed is 0, and he crawls to his feet. And
he still does.
He still crawls to his feet, and his hands are up. There is no lack of fight in the kid. There's no lack of desire here.
I mean, that's all that Guth needed to see. I think this could have been much more protracted than it was, of just like Guth was just gonna keep hitting him until he got up or wouldn't get up again, and he's got up every time, and like this guy's literally should not have been able to get up, and he got up again.
Give me an insight check.
Oh, sorry. That's a plus. It's either 6 or 3.
That's fine. It's
Plus,
16 plus will do it.
19. Yeah.
You can see it in his eyes as he gets up the last time. He knows he's going to die. He thinks he's going to. As he kind of lurches at you, he fully expects that he's about to die.
I'm just gonna like grab my arm underneath him and just like hold him close and just like forehead to forehead be like, why are you still hitting me?
Really weakly, just like it's tapping against your chest, and you can just hear, "Never enough, never enough."
Is it because you are?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is it because you are enough? Is that why you're still hitting me?
Not enough. It's never enough.
Hey. And I'm just like, gonna hold him up by his face. Like by nothing else, and like see if he continues to stand.
You imagine if you let go completely, he'd probably fall.
Sure, understood. So, are you enough? Do you want to be great?
Yes, but I'm not enough.
And you just see like a big half-toothed smile across Goof's face, and he just says, I can work with that. And I'll just do, well, I mean, I've got two more. And I'll just like pat him against the head and just like, you are enough. And that will be my healing word. And I will do both of those at second level.
Okay.
So that's 11 plus 12. That's 23.
11. Wait, how you healed him? Oh, you healed him 4 times?
Oh, no, sorry. No. Plus
You
6.
healed him twice, so it's
Plus 6. Yes.
Cool. Plus the 4 that he had, 17. He's almost at full. You heal him, and right, like the wounds close. You know, the cheekbone that looked like it had actually been like stoven in a little bit, like kind of pops out again. The bone starts to mend, and whatnot. He is still like that cannot heal exhaustion, so he's still like wobbling. Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Here we go.
You want to give me the final number on that?
18.
It was a natural 20. Oh,
You cannot take that 20 away from him. You cannot.
What would it be? What would it be with your wisdom modifier?
21.
21. Okay. He looks at you with just like disbelief in his eyes and goes,
Oh, what? Wait. So a natural 20 with my wisdom modifier would be a 23.
23. Okay.
Yeah.
He looks at you. Goes, yeah. Well. Okay.
Okay, if you start crying, I'm gonna hit you again.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna cry. Just give me a minute. And he passes out.
Well, and I'll just like, as he just falls on the ground, I'll just like direct my attention to Ma and be like, well, this was much more exhausting than I was expecting. It wasn't physically taxing in any way. But wow. You had to.
Kids got hot.
I'm just gonna say that you have like, what did you have, like 13 of these things, kids? Holy shit! Like
Only 3.
you had 3
But,
kids. I don't believe that.
I
I
do.
really don't feel like that's true.
3, but then they had kids. You know, multiplying.
Anyway, to be honest, Ma, I didn't think he was going to get back up. Can I just like, as I'm kind of saying that, can I just give like a quick medicine check to make sure that he passed out, but it is like okay?
Air quotes. Okay.
The Condritter has walked over and is just kind of staring, looking down at the kid. 21.
He is not dead.
He'll be fine in 4, maybe 5 days.
Sure. It was like a weird, like I just kind of looked down, like, is he bleeding out? Okay, good. Anyway,
the Condritter looks over at you, or looks down at the kid, looks at you as you kind of check him out, and he's like, "Ben, he's not weak, but the legionnaires need to be a little bit more there in the head. So I don't know, like teach him some math or something, and maybe he can join up. But he's got a ways to go. I don't think the strength, as I trained men in the legions my whole life. Looking at him, I don't think it's the fight or the strength that he's missing. He's just kind of stupid.
Well,
can I
will
ask
say,
metagaming?
and I just kind of look at him and be like, so obviously there are things that you cannot teach. You can teach that.
You can definitely teach technique. I wasn't saying that he's, you can teach him technique. I don't know that you can do that by hitting him in the face.
I'm just gonna kind of just tap the Condritter in the face, like, hey, you're missing the moment. You're missing the moment. You can't teach that. You are born with that. You're born with
the technique?
Okay, I feel like you're missing the point almost on purpose, or I really hate this city. Like, please tell me that you are giving me the leg pull, or I literally will probably swear off every part of the city.
I'm genuinely sorry, Goose, but no, there's strength and there's will to fight, and the kid clearly has those. And I suppose there's an argument for the will to fight being an inborn, trait. But no, the technique is taught.
I feel like we are two first-level teachers talking about whether or not there is a nature aspect or a nurture aspect to how someone becomes who they are, and we're not going to get anywhere with that. I'll say it plainly. That kid wants to be great. And he wants to be better than any of your... and Guth kind of leans forward and says, he's going to be better than anyone else that is standing around us. That kid should have died probably 4 hits ago, and he got up 3 times. So, if you feel like you don't understand that, I feel good about my clan maybe being in charge of all of this.
No, that much is true. He probably should have stayed down after, frankly, the second time, but the stubbornness can get other men killed. So, if you want to take him with you, perhaps with the right team, he can be good, but without a little bit more intelligence and ability to think outside the box, I don't think the legions can take him.
What is a better recruitment video than this right here. I hit him so many times. You're like, he should have been dead, but if he knew more, he'd be better. And like, you can literally take something like this is a 100% guaranteed best soldier. Like, you take him and you run him through the morning, yada yada. You know, you guys put the shield down, all the above, and like, I don't know. Like, I can't help you with that if you can't see that this is a worthwhile investment. Why am I fighting for this guy? I can't. You are frustrating me.
Well, 12 hours ago, Guth was like, no, leave the damn kid behind. And now he's like, why won't you take him? Again, the physical aspects of the kid are not in question. He's quite impressive. And, perhaps we could take him on as, a trainer for the shield wall. But as an active duty soldier, he will not make the cut. We require certain mental and mental acuity in the Legion. That is simply, we can try to teach him, but from what I've seen, it's not promising.
Okay. I don't want to talk to you about this anymore. Not that that's rude or anything.
No, I understand.
I feel like if we're talking about mental equity or whatever the word you said, one of us is lacking that in the conversation. It's you. I feel like you're the stupid one right now. And I want to make sure that this kid doesn't die. Who do I drag him to for that?
As you are the one who has rendered him thus, I think that burden would probably fall on you.
I've got it, Guth. Let me look after him.
You think I'm, stupid, but I think there's probably a cultural problem here more than, a one of intelligence. So I understand that things are quite different out on the plains. So from some of my men, I understand that even the echoes will leave behind the child that is, not smart enough to keep themselves alive. So I really do think that a Jaeger party is probably the best bet for him. That is where the misfits tend to find their niche. So this was great fun. Thank you. My squad and I are going to go to mess now. So have a good day and learn more about the Empire. I think the more you learn, the more you will understand. And he walks off.
I'm going to kick him in the butt as he walks away.
Oh, please don't.
So this... well, he's not on duty. So never mind. I won't waste your guys one warning on this. Okay, yeah, you kick him in the butt. His men are there. Cool. Vera, what are you doing with Karan's unconscious form as a large brawl breaks out between Guth and a squad of Rayman soldiers?
Just gonna go, sort of shake my head gently and very, very slowly sort of hook my arms under the tops of his arms like this and start to back up and pull him towards our tent.
Roll an athletics check.
Is it not just a straight up strength check? Which is the same thing.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think for you it's probably the same thing. But
it is.
For you, this is probably an athletics check.
I'm just doing it nice and slow.
Guth, the brawl that begins between you and the Conritter and quickly involves the squad and quickly involves other squads that have kind of finished their morning calisthenics. At some point, somebody just like chucks in a ruck tag ball, and it just kind of develops into a full morning ruck tag game. 7.
At some point, Goof is saying, "Oh, you need to be smart. How about I use my head?" And I'm just headbutting it repeatedly over and over again.
Yep.
This is delightful.
Most ruck tag games begin and end as a brawl, so like you just the whole thing just kind of goes through its whole arc. Vera, you're kind of in the middle of this, failing completely to drag this body, and a couple of the other legionaries are like, it's Mom, and they come over and like,
thank you, boys.
one of them just kind of stands between you and the melee, and the other one grabs the body and drags it off the field. Almanya, you wake up.
Well, also just my hope is that Goof will just transition from brawl to game to brawl to mess with all of that.
I feel like this is roughly what happens like every morning, and this is just a different way of getting into it. So yeah,
there was a more formal form of it, yeah.
right through that.
Question. Can I wake up Almanya? And can she wake up with me like tucking the kid into my cot or whatever it is? Because this was at like way before dawn. I mean,
well, no, you're a little bit after dawn at this point.
Okay.
So that's up to Almanya. Sure, you can wake
Sure.
up that way.
Sure, I'm okay with
have
that.
a lazy
I'll
morning.
sleep
Have a
late.
lazy morning.
Almanya needs a lot of sleep and rest anyway, so she's probably crashing just a lot at fairly inopportune times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can wake up. I wake up to Vera tucking in this kid into her cot, and I'm just, hey, who's that?
Oh, this is Karan from the other day. Kid's got hot. I gotta give it to him.
Why is he here?
Goof kicked the ever-living daylights out of him, but then became his best friend.
What the fuck? Why?
It was very inspiring. I very gently smack you on the head.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right, lovey. But I think he just needs to sleep it off, to be honest.
I feel that.
We might be adopting him though, or taking him with us. I don't really know. I'll take Goof's lead on it. He seems rather fond of the young man.
The more the merrier, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Listen, Almanya,
Yeah.
what do you say to a strong cup of tea, and a chat?
Both of those sound good. One sounds less good, because usually when someone say they want to chat with you, it's because you did something very wrong.
I assure you, it is an entirely positive chat.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah.
That is the most hegemony child thing I would say.
Let's have a talk, or let's go on a walk together. Always means like I did something horribly wrong and somebody needs to have a private conversation with me. Oh God.
Can I like go and get like a cup of like strong tea and I don't know, porridge with honey in it or something like that from the mess and bring it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go back. Couple of the Legion who are making the breakfast. You're like, Ma, you're a little early. Is it? Are you coming in for your shift?
No, I'll be in a moment. I'm just bringing in a lovely little breakfast in bed for a friend.
Oh, all right. You just grab kind of a couple of bowls and some tea, and you guys are like sitting out behind the behind the mess hall where like the dumpsters would be if they wasted anything, and you guys are just kind of sitting back there. You can hear the sounds of the mess through the door behind you, but yeah, you guys are sitting there taking your morning repast.
What's the view like? What does it kind of feel like around here?
Early. I think we're getting into mid-spring, so a little bit chilly in the early morning, but it warms up pretty quickly. So at this point, you guys are probably a little uncomfortably cold, but settling into it, the porridge and the tea help. It's a little after dawn. and it's quite clear and beautiful this morning. You're looking at very, rows of very military barracks. Although these ones are far nicer than the ones that you saw in kind of the 3rd Legion camp, the 5th Legion camp in Leicestershire. Everything is made out of finely crafted stone, nice pillars, and whatnot. But yeah, you're in a military camp out behind the mess. Not an amazing view, but it's pleasant.
Okay.
Well, Lovey, how are you feeling? New body and all.
Oh, better every day, I suppose.
Good.
Just tired most of the time and frustrated and trying to figure out what the heck to do. But that's, I feel like, is pretty common for me these days. So,
That's
figuring it
actually exactly what I was going to ask you is, I know you're bound by this debt to this Callista priest or whoever she is, but I wanted to know where you're going to go next, what you want to do.
I have to go get my brothers and my sister. I have to figure out, well, specifically my baby brother. They're taking him instead of me to my trials in 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
So before you need to report or whatever to the Moon Maiden.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it. Pardon my dragon.
My draconic.
Pardon my draconic. I don't know that.
Cannon.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's just a mess, Ma. I don't know.
Well, that's rather comforting to hear because my situation's a bit of a mess as well, but we might have a united mess, shall we say?
Well, it's going to be a little tight. We're not allowed to leave for the next 2 weeks. And
there's no way to get home.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you heard the message. I heard your message. You heard mine. My granddaughter is missing. My family's in trouble. And tell the truth, I did what I left home to do.
What'd you leave home to do?
Well, I've come to realize there were several things, but primary motivating factor was to bring you back. And look at you.
I look a little bit different. Hell, Ma, I don't even know if I go back, if they'd even let me take my trials at this point. I'm not really a dragonborn anymore. I couldn't go back and retake my brother's place. I don't even think if I wanted to. And I do kind of want to. But I'm not a dragonborn.
You don't know how. I don't think this has ever happened. I mean,
yeah, there's been a lot of firsts, huh?
What they're going to say.
Yeah. The hegemony isn't exactly the nicest group.
No, they are not.
And they're pretty strict about their rules and regulations. And I don't know if I come back, what they'll do to me or to my family.
Yes.
I can't leave them there.
If it is a comfort to you, I have a bit of a, shall we say, a plan Z.
Did we skip all the other letters in between?
Well, this is last resort. If plans A through Y utterly fail, which
seems to be a habit
on luck so far, might in fact happen.
Seems to be quite a habit, yeah.
Yes. What I'm talking about is, and can I do a real quick glance around to see if anybody is here or listening to me?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
All right. Because I will lower my voice as I say this. 17.
Rolled an 8, gets a 17. Expertise. I mean, there are people within earshot. Nobody is listening in.
All right. So I'll just lower my voice not like suspiciously, but so that someone would have to be listening in order to hear me. I have a plan Z for if Onisher falls completely.
And what might that be?
And Lilian is still in there, right?
Oh yeah, rummaging around, figuring out stuff.
So she heard what I said to Leah right before she left, return to Onisher. I explained to her that hard as it is to hear, I don't particularly care about everyone in the world. If that
No.
makes sense.
What? You? No.
Yes,
Mhm.
my world is rather small and self-contained. So, should the city of Onisher fall, I will take what I care about and I will leave. And
I'm watching hundreds of dice being rolled right now, and it's making me panic a little bit.
yeah,
It has nothing to do with you guys. I apologize. Ignore
that
that.
was horrifying.
Horrible.
Sorry.
And a
For a
meteor.
second, I'm like, are you rolling for the fall of Onisher right now as I'm talking about this?
I forgot that you guys can see the shadow of the dice that I roll.
It's horrifying. It's so
I
ominous.
promise you, this is not the DM trick where you're like, okay, so they're sitting here talking. Let's roll some dice and just freak them out. I promise you, that's not what I'm doing. I'm rolling for
It's an
other
encounter.
things.
It's a deadly encounter.
No, this is not for the fall of Westershire. I rolled for that months ago. It's all
Great.
She said
Onisher.
Onisher, but never mind.
I'm sorry, Onisher.
Great. All
We
right.
know Westershire fell.
Anyway, I'm so sorry. Please continue.
It's
Okay.
all good. So, do you remember perhaps our first, or one of our first adventures that, wait, was Almanya already dead? Were you there for the tower fight?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were
I
totally
was
there.
there
Never mind.
because my brother still
Oh
has.
yeah, never mind.
I
You
gave
left
my-
Punisher
You
that
gave him the
it
pylon.
died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my brother still has the pylon. I left him a teleportation pylon, and he wanted to study it. So my brother still
Exactly.
has a teleportation pylon.
He does still
Exactly.
have a teleportation pylon.
And
Yes,
then
we
my
do.
bro.
And so I'll say, well, do you remember that those ruins, the H.A.P.P.Y ruins underneath that tower that nobody
Yeah.
else knows about?
Yeah.
Except your family and my family?
Yeah.
Well, that those ruins, and in fact, if I recall, which Grace didn't, but now I do, your brother happens to have in his possession, and there are still underneath that tower certain teleportation pylons.
Yeah. But
Yes.
hold on, Ma. Like, remember that we had to go on a bunch of we had to bring food from the city to go to those towers. It's not like there's food anywhere there. Like, it's not like there's a
But-
place to survive.
No, but it's only about a mile. It's only a few miles outside of the city. We can
That's true.
survive for an hour. Again,
Yeah.
Plan Z, we find a
Right,
way back to
right.
those ruins, and I suspect, because I told them about it, my boys might have already been down there.
Did they
It seems
steal the
like,
pylon from my baby brother?
They didn't steal anything. No, I merely told them about some extremely valuable H.A.P.P.Y ruins underneath the tower that could prove extremely lucrative and useful. So they at least know where it is. But Plan Z, find one of those transportation pylons and find ourselves somewhere else and start anew.
If we can get there before my brother's trials, then hopefully we'll have at least one of the pylons so we can get away.
And even if we don't, there were, what, 3, 4 others?
Yes,
Um,
but we only have access to one of them.
Right, unless we actually go back to the ruins.
Yes, which we would have to.
Physically.
We would have to go to the tower, go underneath the tower, and go to each separate place. But as long as we have one of the pylons, we don't have to travel that whole way.
Right. So in
Mhm.
fact, including your family in my little complete bail plan could actually expedite it greatly, because I would not. That pylon belongs to your brother. It belongs to you.
Yeah.
I was just going to take my family. We're all fighters, and make our way to that tower, and find our way back into those ruins and get out. Mind you, again, this is Plan Z. I have a life in Anashar. Anashar is my city. I have certain interests there, but it has come to my attention from being away what actually matters. And truth be told, if I could get my family out and away before perhaps the inevitable happens, that is the choice I will make.
Yeah. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do. Do you know, Ma, do you know what happens when a Dragonborn fails their trials?
DM, do I know what happens when a Dragonborn fails their trials?
Based on your backstory, you have assisted quite a few people who have had it happen to them.
Yes,
so
I have.
From what Vera knows, every Dragonborn, when they hit a certain age or when something else is decided, you're not sure what the metric is, must undergo some trial that proves their excellence in whatever their chosen craft is. If they fail, their tails are removed and they are, well, you know what, roll a history check to see if you know what the other option is.
Because I've definitely taken a lot of tailless slaves out.
Right.
Yeah. History. 13.
13. Okay. So there is another option. You don't know what the other one is, but the most common one is their tails are removed and they are sold into slavery, as is essentially a way of saying, because they failed, they're not actually Dragonborn.
Right. So
What do I know? What's the other option that I know?
You can roll a history check. Are you proficient in history?
Probably not, but yeah, I'm not. But I am. I was a Dragonborn, so
yeah, you can consider yourself proficient in history for the purpose of this roll.
Okay. Plus my history, plus proficiency. So 11?
11. Not really. Your family, I mean, you've lived outside the hegemony for as long as you can remember, and your family doesn't talk about it much.
Yeah.
So you're not sure.
Okay.
And frankly, Almanya, I used to be able to do something about that, at least for Dragonborn once they were already tailless. But I'm pretty sure that my contacts in that area, forgers of identification, etc., are no longer working. But I think we'd much rather avoid that option altogether for your brother and the rest of your siblings.
Oh, I'm not arguing that at all. I'd rather they not lose their tails in any way, shape, or form. But I don't know what's going to happen to them if I don't get there.
And if we both don't get there.
Yeah. I mean, if we can send them another message, if I can just level up and get message and get sending as a spell, then we can.
What I was
Endon to
what
get
I was
out.
thinking, yes, and again, if our families could leave together, they could protect each other.
Yeah.
I know they have no reason to trust each other, but my boys trust me and my judgment, I know.
Yeah, didn't you leave rotting fish underneath my porch for like 3 weeks?
Mom? How do you know about that?
Because it happened while I was there.
No, you were not there when I did that.
Yeah, because you teleported in. This was right after the teleportation thing.
No, I know. But then I got kicked out and I came back like weeks later secretly and hid the fish under the porch.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would not have let you know about that.
Almanya, go ahead and just give me a straight insight check.
Yeah.
An insight check.
The minute that I say
Way-
our families could work together, you can insight
Way
check.
retroactively.
4. I'm like, yeah, that seems
yeah.
normal.
I only did that out of mere
You
pettiness.
somehow, you never even suspected Ma of that. It must have been some local kids.
Totally. Here's what I was thinking. Here's what I was planning. And I'm glad you are on board with this. If we could get each other to Onisha, we can't leave in the 2 weeks. You're right. I'd forgotten about that. Because of the limitations of the oath.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
I love this place. It's basically the hegemony in some ways. It's kind of nuts.
I'm going to say very quietly, I hate this place. And so here's what I was thinking.
I agree, but Ma, there is one thing. I don't think they would let my little siblings, well, my little brother and my older sister and older brother, be enslaved if they lived here.
No, I don't mean come here. What I mean is, wherever those pylons go, that's where we go, or at least that's where we end up, and we didn't know where we were.
Yeah.
I mean, go somewhere utterly different. I mean, we might go to another continent. We might go anywhere. My family is very resourceful. We've been taught to make something out of nothing, and I mean start anew, somewhere away from this. If there is a place away from this hellscape.
Yeah, how am I supposed to save the world when it's such a wreck all the time? God.
It's a funny thing about you saving the world. It's one of the reasons, actually, that I knew we had to get you back. I know myself fairly well. Perhaps it's not as well as I thought, but I know I'm not one for saving the world, as I've just explained. But I think sometimes the best some of us can do is lift up those who can. Yes?
Yeah.
Is make it possible for someone else. But that's what I mean, is our families would go who knows where and make something of themselves. Make something of ourselves. I would go with them. Wherever.
Yeah.
But we'd need to get ourselves to Onisha somehow and get you back before the your oath expires, so to speak. Or just send me and I will do that. I will get our families out if I can, and you stay. That is entirely your choice. But simply the issue is how to get to Onisha at all.
Yeah, that is kind of the problem, isn't it?
Yes, because ordinary travel is not fast enough.
No.
Especially if you come with me, because we'd have to get you back.
Yeah.
So I would have to find magical means. And as we have already learned, with even sending a simple message, that magical means are
expensive.
Beyond our means. So my plan for the next 2 weeks that I'm limited here is, first of all, to try and salvage what is left of my self-imposed mission here, which I'm beginning to think is impossible, and otherwise search for anyone who has this power. And frankly, I'm willing to buy it. And in this place, I know I must buy it with an oath, with a service.
Maybe the cleric who I'm supposed to be helping Maybe she has some idea.
An interesting
way.
thought. See, I was going to speak to, as soon as I can, today perhaps, try and find the commandant and ask her about the first part of my mission, if it's even possible, but also broach the subject with her of transport. And just see what I can find. The way that I see it is, I don't really know how the oaths work here, but, and I'll lower my voice even quieter. I don't necessarily know what's going to happen, but I'm willing to make an oath I don't necessarily intend to keep.
I get the
And I
feeling
will-
that that's very dangerous.
Yes, I understand there would be consequences to that decision. Again, I'd much rather make an oath I can keep, but I don't trust these Freemans as far as I can throw them.
That doesn't surprise me. Almanya, whenever she like is kind of questioning something, she does that little like bird head tilt and like
Oh,
clicks her
so
lips together a few times. This
I
little
kind
like kind of clicking
I would
noise.
like to do this, but I won't.
You're gonna get copyrighted from Magnus. Just saying.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm basically pulling a Magnus.
Oh, so cute. So, what I was thinking I have to offer the Empire in exchange for this, I do have information. I do know things about Onisher. I know people in Onisher that may be useful to the Empire. Which is again why, yes, and also why this is
Do I know
Plan
people?
Z. Yes, of course, Sambelhain. But I could make them some sort of offer. I don't know if they would accept it. I need to find out how much this would cost us. But I don't know how we'd get you back in time for your oath.
Yeah, me neither. I don't even know how you guys got here in the first place. Like, the sea is a mess. How on earth did you guys even get here?
Oh, well, there was this magic ship, which was the only one capable of traversing the ocean,
Uh-huh.
which we took, which then dumped us off on an island where I became a monk. It's complicated. And then...
Oh, yeah, Liliana was there for that one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, that's when Liliana came to us. So yeah, magic ship, which then the Vremans commandeered out of Worcestershire, which is how Talia was able to return, and that's another person I need to find once I arrive. And believe me, oh goodness, we're going to make a colony. I'll take her family too, to be perfectly honest.
You know, Ma, I would love if we had a colony. It'd be pretty great if we could found
think
our own
about it.
country.
A family of halflings, a family of dragonborn, a family of elves, half
We
elves.
could basically start our own country at this point.
This
You
could
guys
be marvelous.
remember way back in session 0 when I was like, all right, guys, what kind of campaign do you want? And I gave you some options. And one of those options was, do you want to be like part of this experimental colony for this like new establishment outside the great? And you guys were like, no, fuck that. That doesn't sound fun.
But
And
if
now
we're
our
doing it to
characters
save our own
I
skins,
just wanted to remind you of that moment.
And now our characters are tired and worn down. They're like, maybe we should just go form our own colony.
no,
I think the
really-
best part
okay.
is that I wasn't there for session 0, but everyone else is like, yeah, let's get after it.
I would
But
also say
actually-
that the party composition was considerably different at that session 0 than it is now.
But this is my
You
headcanon.
trained one person for me. What do you mean considerably different? I don't know.
We had Talia, we had Lyra, we had Lyra. Yeah, we had
With you is quite a different crew.
God, okay,
All right.
sorry, they were short
but
that.
here's
You're right. You're right.
Yours dream is totally defined. Do you remember the little cliff with like the little person with the stick?
I loved that guy so much.
I want to go there.
No. All right.
Oh, Ma, I'll play you my song at some point. I've got to finish
Please
it.
do.
It saves the world, apparently, but
You don't have to make a decision now. Again, I'm going to ask around. I'm going to find something for myself. But I think you perhaps can think whether you want to come with me or not, and if that's possible, because I promise you, I know in this world at this time, it's almost impossible to keep promises, but if I go to Anasha, I will do my best to bring both our families and find Talia's family, bring us all and get us somewhere else.
Yeah.
Even if you can't come with me.
If I can't come, I'm trusting you to take care of them, Ma. And that's a lot.
And
My family is full of stubborn-headed Dragonborn.
and I promise you that if I live, as long as I live, I will do my utmost to keep that promise and to hold that trust. Again, we don't have to decide now, but think on it.
Find out some information. Give us to our plan Z, I suppose, but find us some information. Time is running out on my family's end.
I know, and the minute I am allowed to leave, if I find a means, I will leave this place. 2 weeks. Again, contingent upon finding a way, and I do find it amusing that my plan Z has suddenly become plan A, or at
I
least
think
B.
it kind of is plan A at this point. No, it's we don't exactly have a lot of options, do we?
I know, it all depends on what I manage to do here, whether on a short and lost cause, which I am becoming more inclined to believe. Think on it.
Yeah,
And,
find out
I
information.
will investigate.
Let me know.
We finish
still
our
gotta-
breakfast.
I still got to get a loot. I spent all of my money at getting us those sending spells.
So
Why
did
do people charge for spells? It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. God, it makes me angry. Sorry, but it isn't it?
Oh, it's the Empire.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, God, why are people so possessive of their magic? And like, God, I don't know. I was a bard. Do you know what bards do? We sing on every goddamn street corner. We are spreading our magic like friggin' wildflowers, and people have the audacity to like sit in their towers and go, "Oh, I'll just like deign to give you like a little drop of magic." Like, no, fuck that.
Heck. And you know what? In our personal colony, made up entirely of our personal families, magic will be free.
Yes, thank you.
This is what happens when your player characters create families in a horrific, nasty world that you've created. The instinct is screw everybody else. We're going to take them. We're going to find a safe pocket.
Yes.
Yep.
You just have to make sure that there are no safe pockets to flee to.
Curse you, Josh. I am finding a desert island somewhere and I am taking everybody to it.
If I remember right, so just to back up to the conversation we had pre-session 0 about the kind of campaign we wanted, all of us were afraid to have a colony in the wilderness because we actually wanted our characters to survive to some sort of level higher than 2.
Sure. Sure. Which is why at level 3, you were like, we're going across the ocean. And I was like, guys, don't do that. And you were like, no, we're going across the ocean. And I was
That would have never happened if somebody hadn't killed one of us. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
I was about to say, and look, we all lived, and then I realized we didn't, so I can't actually say that. And it all turned out fine. No, it didn't.
all right. So, Almanya, you want to get a loot.
Yes.
And Vera, you wanted to talk to someone in the government.
I was actually going to find the commandant, because currently she's the highest ranking person I actually personally know.
Correct.
And essentially just ask her, number one, do you even have anything resembling a foreign office? But mainly what I'm asking her is, in full, complete honesty, do I have a shot at all, a snowball's chance in hell, of ever actually speaking to someone with any power to do this?
Okay. So I think
And yes, it took my little Amish self a lot of difficulty to even say that.
So I think what we'll do is Almanya, we're going to do your lute. Vera will do your conversation there. And then Daphne, you need to talk to, which one is free?
The Tribune of the Diadem.
No, I can figure it out. I've got notes.
Don't worry, Guth is just playing rucksack, so it doesn't really matter. Rook tag, sorry.
Okay, so she is the Tribune. Okay. And Guth will play tag. All right, we're gonna run through these. And
Rucksack is awesome.
I think
Keep it.
then we'll probably run through some downtime. All right. Almanya. A lute.
Lute.
You are directed to the Rs ward. It's Rs pronounced as a Z, as in the Latin word for skill.
I can't handle it. I just can't.
It is the most skilled part of the body. You will have the most skill as you develop your R's.
Almanya, you are directed to the Rs ward.
Rs.
And apparently there are 3 prominent instrument makers in the Rs ward. There's Gunter's, Yui's, and Andrea's. Each has their own particular style.
Okay.
Don't we need to, just because Guth needs to be present so that she can be there, right? I mean, because he's the only one who has made it out of the Mars ward.
No, they all have.
No, you've all paid your money. So you've all paid to be out of the Mars ward. So you all have access to a bunch of things.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The only thing that Guth did differently
Was become a Jaeger.
Right. He wanted his passport to stop saying, wanderer from the echoes, and to start saying Jaeger. So under profession on your passport, you're now listed as a Jaeger.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Guth wanted any of that. He wanted the paper boy to stop talking to him, so he said, yes, 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 do anything you wish, and then he went on the paper, and that's how that went down. So, yeah.
For the purpose, well, we'll get to that in downtime. Gunter's, I don't know if any of this actually makes sense because I'm not an instrument maker and I don't know anything about it, but there's magic in my world, so everything I say here is true.
Okay.
Gunter's instruments are known as just kind of the most reliable and solid. Don't require a lot of tuning, but also don't have quite the range and character of sound of Yui's or Andrea's. Yui's have a fairly distinctive style. It's very difficult to play sorrowful or quiet music on them. It's pretty hard to find the right sound for that. However, for loud, angry, or just generally like strident and confident music, it's amazing. If you want to play Wagner, get one of Yui's. Andrea's has the widest range. Her instruments require a lot of maintenance, but for somebody with kind of the expertise and time, you can play just about anything that a lute can play really well. So if you don't mind, right, a lot of maintenance for your instrument, which Almanya would be trained in. Then
Barden.
Andrea's is definitely worth it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then I
Biden's
want to
got
check out Andrea's because that sounds good.
You're gonna go to Andrea's?
Yeah, I mean, I have 11 silver pieces, so can't exactly like pay a whole lot, but I'm also an incredibly talented musician.
You are.
And very persuasive. So I want to go check out those.
You find the street of instrument makers. Andrea's is also the largest establishment, and you see several half-orcs and humans who seem to be apprenticing or journeymen here who are working with wood, making kind of the strings out of catgut or something else. And kind of this fairly large, broad-featured human kind of greets you at the door. I'm going to try this. It's going to go poorly. Howdy. I'm Waylo. What can I do you for?
Hi.
He's from the Borderlands. Now
Grace now knows that he's from the Borderlands because I told her that
hello.
this accent to them.
My name is Almanya Kalmavdalor, and I'm looking for a lute. I'm a trained bard, and my lute was... I had a really nice one. It was broken, very tragically, for various reasons. Anyway, I am in the market.
Tragic.
It was extremely tragic. It was beautiful. It was silver inlaid. It was lovely, and it gives me a lot of anxiety to this day. But I'm in the market for a new lute.
Excellent. And what quality of lute are you looking for?
I mean, I am very well trained, so I can play just about anything. And I don't have a lot of money to pay with right now, but I'm kind of just trying to get a gauge of how much things cost around here, and it's kind of hard because I'm new. So I'm just trying to like kind of get a feel for it.
Well, you want a high quality, but you don't have the cash to do it with. So you may have come to the right place, or you may have come to the exact wrong place. You're going to want to talk to Andrea. My instruments go for quite a bit.
Yeah, you look extremely well trained, and I am deeply impressed.
That is truly flattering coming from a highly trained musician such as yourself, and I thank you kindly. If you wanted one of the lower quality ones, you would talk to Laurel over there. He's an apprentice. He's not that great at it yet.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I understand.
Andrea will, she'll just give you one if you can prove you can play it well enough. So, Andrea!
Well.
A half-elf woman comes out, very businesslike, very, very kind of sober expression, comes out wiping some kind of, looks like sawdust off her hands with kind of a damp rag. Yes.
Hi. I will introduce myself again. My name is Almanya Kalmavdalor. I am a trained bard from Onishar, and I am looking for a new lute.
And you want one of mine?
I've heard that you have incredible instruments, so yes, if possible.
Right. Take a seat. She
Okay.
kind of walks back in the shop and comes out with a very solid looking lute. Nothing super special about it. Nothing, there's none of the kind of inlay and nice decorations that were on the one that Sam Vilhane had inscribed for you. But it is very well made, well polished, and doesn't have a scratch on it. And she hands it to you. All right. Let's see what you can do.
All right. Josh, can I have advantage if I play you a song right now?
You absolutely can. With an emphasis on the lute in that.
I caught that.
Just gonna sit back here and appreciate that my players do this.
This is why I'm here. Hopefully, it'll go well over the video recording. I'm not sure, obviously, but I have a song. It's kind of somber because I'm still working on it, and it's a little slow, but I assume that'll be okay for y'all. Pardon me as I quick tune.
While she's tuning, Vera, question. How are you asking for directions and access to the Commandant?
I might just go through, again, highest ranking person that I know. I assume she's still lodging in the Mars ward with the Legion.
The 5th is still stationed in the Mars ward. My question is, how do you refer to the person that you are looking for?
By name, I'll call her, well, I saw she was acting Commandant. Yes. What was her name? There's something to do with lions. Hang on a second.
Aria Leontia.
Thank you.
Because it changes things if you ask for Aria Leontia or if you ask for the Commandant.
Yes, I will ask for her by name, Aria Leontia. Yes.
Alrighty.
Okay. So I wrote this song sort of about the end of the world. Because that's apparently the only thing Almanya can really work on right now is songs about the end of the world, because that's the only thing she sees on a daily basis. So yeah. This is a song called We Will Never Rise Again. Do you remember the world? Do you remember the glory? Were you there at the start? Were you there at the beginning? Do you remember the peace and goodness and life? Can any of us recall beyond our strife how the world falls beneath us? Crumbling stones, crumbling bases, towers rise and kingdoms fall, and the people fall away, and we'll never rise again. As the darkness rests upon us in eternal dying sleep, may we bow our heads in final prayer as we lay down to final sleep. We pray for the gods to take us swiftly. We pray for passage to the beyond. We pray that we are looked kindly upon as we watch our final dawn. We will never rise again. We are slowly kissed by vengeance and walked into the depths, where hope isn't found among the stones, nor light between the cracks. We leave our world and life behind and join the forgotten souls. We think of home before we're lost and death takes control. May we be kind to one another as the darkness takes its hold, as our world dies, burns to dust. May we remember the stories we're told, because we'll we'll never rise again.
I need a recording of that as I so that I can listen to it over and over again as I write the prehistory right before the fall?
Yeah. I'll send you a recording at some point.
That's
If
amazing.
you make her roll a performance check, I'll be so angry at you.
I
It's a
am.
natural 21, Joshua.
It's a
Don't
natural
worry. It's a natural 21.
There are going to be 3 of them. There will be 3 of them. And so kind of as you finish the first song, go ahead and roll a performance check. You will have advantage on each one.
Nice.
So go ahead and roll the first one.
That.
It was not in the box. Hold on. There we go. Oh, not great, but still a 13.
A 13. All right, that is, you are quite talented. Try a different song, though. This is not the time for sorrow. And I don't think your song will find much welcome in the Empire.
Okay, I will sing a drinking song next that I would sing at the snowdrop.
Okay, you
He
sing a
takes
great
psychic
song.
damage and he doesn't know why. He's confused and he just starts bleeding from his nose and his ears. And it hurts, but he doesn't know why.
All right. Second performance check with advantage.
All right, come on, baby. Still not great. I don't know what the heck is going on.
Change your dice color.
It's closer. But
Go more blue. Gentlemen,
have-
Almanya.
do you know any that is more more the opposite of the first one, right? It is the rising.
Rising. Okay. I think about playing my song, but my song isn't ready yet, and it's about rising. But I'm always like, it's not ready yet.
So are you singing coming home, or are you singing the actual, like, a piece of the great work?
I think I'll tell her. I think I'll be like, I'm gonna sing a song that I'm working on. It's unfinished. But maybe you'll like it, and I'll sing for her part of the song that I'm working on, my balance song.
As you start to prepare, right, and you've got the first few chords, you start to hear just kind of whispers kind of in your mind. Are you going to play it anyway?
No, if it's telling me not to, most of the whispery voices that are like, no, you should wait, are usually right. So I'm gonna go, oh, actually, no, that's not one. No, how about I write you, I'll play you this one that I wrote in a very weird situation of mine, and it's about me trying to find my way home. How does that sound? Good?
Homecoming that is a good theme in the Empire.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Okay. All right. Come on, baby. Oh, I forgot to hit advantage. But hey, that's a 14. I'll take that. I'll take the 21 for my first, and 15. So 21.
A 21. All right, yeah. This is a good one.
Yeah, I had a long time to work on it.
I will say you a lute. This one's name is Jenny. If you like it, it is yours for 210 gold.
Okay.
You could look at one of the others that I have, or I could make one for you. It would take a little more than a week.
Well, I don't have a lot of money, so I had to spend all of it basically getting into this place. So I don't know how much it would cost to have you make one, but
it would be the same price. It would be the same price to make it.
Okay. Well, I'm on a very tight budget, unfortunately, so I give the lute a little pat, like, I guess Jenny probably isn't the one for me. She's beautiful though, very robust. I like a good strong instrument.
Well, I can give you one of the ones made by my one of my apprentices for 25 gold.
And I have no money. I have 11 silver. Yeah.
You are talented, but I only gift instruments to those who show, exceptional talent. So
Can I hold on. Hold on.
He's going to the book. I like it.
I'm deeply confused right now. I don't know what you're going for.
It's a glamour bard thing, Josh.
Oh no.
I'm not going to charm her. I swear I'm not going to. No. I just wanted to
Not in a technical sense. She will charm her, but not by the form of
yes, not in the
any
charm.
PHB.
I just wanted to use a mantle of inspiration because I gained the ability to weave a song of fey magic that imbues my allies with vigor and speed. And so I wanted to strum a bit on the lute and inspire all of the apprentices who are in the room.
If you would like to ask her for kind of one more try, like this time I'll get it. You may.
Yay.
What kind of song are you singing this time?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna sing a song. I'm gonna sing Sonia's song because it's about Vreem.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
And Sonia was like my first like real kind of shot that she was like the first character I wrote for a song.
Yeah.
So she's very important to me. And her whole story is about Vreem and homecoming and doing your duty and things like that. To sing her song. Come on. Josh is looking very serious.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at my Vreeman history real quick.
Oh yeah,
Right.
you're
With advantage. And add. We'll add a D8 because you're using kind of the mantle of inspiration. It is inspiring, so you can add a D8 for the inspiration there.
awesome. Okay, and D8. So 24.
24.
And I want to inspire all of the apprentices in the room who are working.
All right. Did you roll with advantage? Oh, it dropped an 11. Got it. Okay. You get.
Yeah, I haven't been rolling very strong, but
a 24. She listens. There it is. Why did you not play this way the first time?
well, it's been a while since I've picked up a lute. I've had some troubles along the way.
Your range of theme is quite extensive. This is promising. 100 gold, and I will make for you a lute. You do not have money, I understand this, but in the Empire we trade favors as well. You will play my lute at 2 tellings each day once the gathering starts, and the lute is yours.
How long is the gathering, Josh? Like, what's that kind of time frame?
If you want to ask her, she can tell it to you. It's not something that you would know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Give me some more details on that. When is the gathering?
The gathering begins on the 23rd and ends on the 23rd of devotion.
Okay.
That is well after you will have to. You're probably leaving the Empire.
Okay.
But you could do it for 5, 10, about 11 days.
Okay. Well, I am currently indebted to a cleric who might send me out of town for a little bit. But I would be happy to perform with your lute at the gatherings. That sounds wonderful. Josh, you're kind of cutting out. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good.
I think I was probably just talking quietly. It's 11 days. In that case, you will play for half the day on each of those days. You will play at as many tellings as you can in that time. And the loot will be yours.
I can do that. Yeah.
All right. Then we have a deal. You would like to keep Jenny, or you would like me to make a new one?
Oh, I like Jenny. She's really nice. She's a good loot. If you don't mind me taking her off your hands.
Not at all. All right. Jenny is yours.
Oh, this is great.
All right.
Just like the utter,
Almanya,
like the feathers kind of fluffing out in delight of like, yay! I haven't sworn again.
Almanya, you have secured a loot.
Yes! Woo!
Vera, you're talking to the commandant. You quickly find out that acting commandant Aria Leontia is once again Kriegwanzer Aria Leontia. The 5th Legion has a new commandant. And because they are in the city, she actually has quite a bit more free time than she otherwise would have. Nevertheless, during her, you're told that she's off duty. Nevertheless, she is on the parade ground drilling not new recruits, but kind of replacement troops for those lost by the 5th in Worcestershire.
So she's been essentially not demoted, but sent back to her original rank.
Yes. And
okay.
Frankly, as she kind of wipes the sweat and dirt kind of back on her head, she's wearing just kind of a simple tunic, and she's just beaten like 3 or 4 recruits kind of into submission as they're kind of taking a breather. You have never seen her happier.
Good for her, living her best life.
As you kind of hail her, she just kind of jams her gladius into the dirt, leans her shield up against it, and jogs happily over to you.
Mm-hmm. What's her new rank again? What should I call her?
Kriegwanzer. It's what she was before she was acting commandant. Yes. She's essentially, she's second in command. She is the chief military advisor to the commandant, as opposed to the Hexenwanzer, who is the magical advisor.
She's XO?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, she jogs over. Yes, Ma pulls just like a big, just kind of a water barrel with a bunch of just canteens on it, just kind of dunks one in, pours a bunch on her head, dunks it again, and just takes a long draft.
Kriegwanzer, you look so well. I'm pleased to see it.
This is so much better than running a legion. Let me tell you, running a legion is the worst thing that has ever happened. What did you want?
Oh, well, I just wanted a quick conversation. I think we've been pleasantly frank with each other in the past, and I have some questions that perhaps require honest answers, which I would request of you as a friend and comrade, I suppose we've been in the past.
Yes, the arrangements that we had worked quite well, I think, for both of us.
Yes. So I'm going to be completely frank and honest. For complicated reasons, I certainly would like, and please don't laugh because I suspect you might, to speak to the Chancellor. Is she laughing?
She's trying so very hard not to.
I know it's funny, and that's why I needed to ask for an honest answer, and perhaps you've already given it to me. Is that at all is that roughly the equivalent of a pipe dream?
I mean, yes.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
If you could, bring Sorana V, the blood descendant, in chains before him, if you, single-handedly won the Mactan, I suppose if you join the Myth of Honor and you go on the Gathering and you bring back the most powerful magic item among any of the other Jaeger parties, you could meet him for a bit, but yeah, unless you do one of those things, I'm sorry, but that's really not possible.
Thank you. And as much as I would like to bring him Saranovi's head on a stick, I don't think it's currently in my game plan.
Actually, there's one other way. Have you heard of Soul Taker yet?
No. What is it?
So I don't remember if you would have to join the Legions. I'm sorry, not the Legions, the Myth of Honor before trying, but there's a whole organization in place now to prevent more accidents. But there's an artifact underneath the palace that it is believed, it just clicked. It is believed that it blocks the way to a great deal of ancient Freeman history, which we would very much like to have access to, as well as a great deal of magical power. So if you could figure out a way past it, he would probably welcome you, if not with open arms, gladly give you an audience. It has
I actually wrote.
This is
in
one of
my
those
notes.
times that I'm glad we're not in the studio, because 3 of my players would be trying to strangle me right now.
You thought it was
Yes.
bad when I hit you with that die that one time?
Yeah. This time
I
it'll be the
literally.
box.
Just like 6 different bags.
Yeah, it was
She's
just like
throwing the table,
this,
like the
see
whole
this,
table
this.
is being thrown at you.
I just wrote in my notes, open friggin' door, but it ain't gonna happen, so I won't.
So without any of those things, yeah, it's unlikely.
I
Can I
suspected
ask
as
why you
much.
wish to talk to the Chancellor?
Well, I am, as has been frequently, people have reminded me here, I'm a refugee from Onisha, and I wish to plea for some sort of relief for my city. Again, I didn't think of it as an option, frankly.
Yes. All of the notes from our conversations and the reports have been transmitted to the High Chancellor. So if he has not read them yet, he will soon. I suppose there's a chance that he would want to talk to you further, but you would have to wait for an invitation from the Chancellor.
It would make sense. Well, with that in mind, I have a second question, and thank you very much for your frankness, and thank you at least for not laughing outright. I understand. And
Indeed,
that question.
Do so enjoy the freedom of not having all of the oaths of a commandant. I can say so much more now, so this is actually quite pleasant for me as well.
It's pleasant to be free from oaths.
I mean, certain oaths, not all of them, of course.
I just give her sort of like a knowing look, because she knows what we've chatted about.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
and I asked, well, keeping that in mind, I don't know if I have told you this, but I do have family still in Onisha, and it's time to return to them. And frankly, you can laugh at that too. I understand the difficulties. So my second question would be, clearly a land journey is quite impossible, and frankly a sea journey is as well, with that ship gone. do you know anywhere in this city where I can find magical transport and what it might cost me?
Transport. So you would probably need to talk to the Hexenwanzer if you wish answers on magical matters. I'm afraid I can't really help with that, but how much can I say? Your friend Almanya may soon be able to help you with your homecoming. And she waits for a second.
I understand that this must be a difficult subject, and please don't say anything that will endanger you or get you into trouble. Will Almanya herself have that power, or someone she is working for or with?
I'm afraid I have already told the line of my oath. That is all I can give you.
All right. Thank you. And you would suggest perhaps private means is more tenable than through one of the legions or through the powers here at Vreen, than the Hexenwanzer, for example. He would demand a high price, I assume, or she.
As I furiously am flipping through the bard and sorcerer spells, like,
What can the bard do?
what can I do?
Well, what can a high-ranking cleric do? Because it could be Callista.
The Legion will not teleport you home.
Yes. Entirely not. Impossible. Against their
Indeed.
oaths. Yes. The Legion will not.
It is quite an expenditure of resources, and without an order from the High Chancellor, as an unattached refugee with loyalty to the Empire.
I thought.
Yes, I am very sorry.
It is all right, and no chance with the civil authorities either. That would also have to come from the Chancellor, I'm sure.
Any magic, again, you would need to talk to Stefan, but any magic that powerful would be controlled by the legions. You could seek out one of the powerful Jaeger parties, but
that's what I was thinking. I might ask the proctor.
The Jaegers are in the middle of the Marktan. I believe it's only day 2, and they will be conserving the energy, and shortly afterward is the gathering, when they will all scatter from the Empire and not return for quite some time, and they will be gathering their resources and spell components for that as well. So
I understand.
Perhaps if you have enough gold, but even then it seems unlikely. The Marktan and the gathering is more important than gold for them.
I understand.
Because
well, thank you for what you have been able to tell me. I know that it has cost you, and I appreciate it.
Of course. You have come a long way since we met in Westershire. Or the muscles are tightening up. Do you want to go a couple of rounds?
Why not?
It's a little different style of combat, and yes?
Yes, it sounds like fun. Let's do it.
You go a couple of rounds with the with the Gebrecan. You're faster. You're much more agile, but holy crap!
She's a tough lady.
She is very strong and fast. You should not be able to swing a sword that fast, but you find yourself hard pressed. Give me a straight athletics check.
Athletics, or can I do acrobatics?
Against her, it's going to be athletics, because you're not so much dodging or like jumping and flipping as you are just trying not to get hit.
Isn't that jumping and flipping?
I mean, if you want to try and flip over her head, you can give me acrobatics with disadvantage, or you could give me athletics.
Because I'm ducking and weaving. I ain't trying to hit back.
Yes, but with like the relentlessness of her onslaught, takes what is like dexterity, and it becomes so fast and it makes sense in my head. Roll athletics.
I'm
Or
going to jump
acrobatics.
over her head and roll with disadvantage on acrobatics
Alright,
instead.
go for it.
Because I'm going to get a +1 off my belt, so I'm just going to do it. Hang on. Disadvantage. Acrobatics. Oh, not bad. 16.
16. Does not beat a 27.
It does not. But it looked cool, Josh.
It looked really cool. You frankly drew like all of the recruits that are taking a breather and a water break are just flabbergasted and amazed, and a couple of them are looking at their shields like, man, why do I carry this thing? I want to do that. And eventually you guys kind of you end the fight, and she salutes you respectfully with the sword, and
I'll
you kind of
bow.
walk. You bow.
I
You
do
walk
the
gracefully away,
monk
and
bow.
after the fight, it's just kind of.
Okay, is it bad that I immediately was imagining the Kung Fu Panda Shifu fight? That's what I was imagining.
You are free to eat.
Exactly.
Good. Okay. And Daphne, you wanted to talk to your
My CO.
Your CO. Yeah. No trouble. You end up in Freya's office again. Very very neat environment. Daphne, you're supposed to be on leave,
Well,
so let's make this quick.
yeah, no, I know that you must be busy, but I actually had to come and talk to you about something of a personal matter. I wondered if you could help me.
I would really rather not. Can
No,
you?
no, not that kind of personal matter.
What kind of personal It doesn't matter what kind of personal matters. It sounds. I mean, perhaps you could talk to your conduitor instead.
Yeah, well, I can ask him for advice too. Sure, that's fine. I won't ask you about the spirits in my head. No one understands that. But, well, it's more of a things I wish to do with my leave, and I'm not sure exactly how I can. This is new to me. I've never been on leave before.
That's fine. When you're on leave, you can drink. I will talk to your conduitor. I will release that obligation. You're
Really?
allowed.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, of course. Right? It's fine. When you're on leave, right, such things are lifted. Don't damage property. But if you need to get into a fist fight or two, just make sure it's this other legion or other off-duty legion or some Jaegers. Don't beat up any of the civilians.
Yeah, no, of course not. But it's
Good.
actually.
So this was a good talk.
No, I have more I need to talk to you about. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be an imposition. But, well, you see, it says that I can't leave the Empire, but I have some things that I kind of might want to do. And it's sort of related to Legion things. So I wondered, the group that's here, yeah? The ones that threatened, the ones that I was responsible for, the ones that threatened the Axtreber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the dead one. And then the not dead anymore one. Well,
Daphne, I know who you're talking about. Spit it out. I have work to do.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Well, they were talking to one of the priester, the matriarch, I think is what they called her. And apparently this group left a Legion priester behind in the place where the fifth came from. And well, I think that they might, I don't know, if I was the matriarch, I would ask them to go get him. And I would like to be able to do that, if that is what she wants. And I wondered if that might be possible.
The matriarch will be accompanying the matriarch, and I was going to wait until you came off leave, but as with all orders, this does not leave the room. You may talk with it only with those who are above you in rank in the 3rd or 5th legions. You understand?
Yes, sir.
The matriarch and the entire Temple of the Moon Maiden will be shipping out with the 5th and 3rd legions to the north.
To the north?
Yes. I understand your concerns with leaving that priester behind. I can share the reports with you. It is all right for you to know. But even before you read them, I will tell you it was the right decision, Daphne.
No, it's not. You don't understand. No one should ever be left behind because they're too weak. It's not right, and it's not why I'm here in this room wearing this armor.
Daphne, if they had stayed, they all would have died. And the
that would have
priester...
been better for them.
Do not interrupt me, Melspure. If they had stayed behind, they all would have died, and the priester and his memory would be dead. I know you are new to the legions, but when a citizen dies, it is only the body that has died. We carry the memory with us.
But he didn't die. The big one saw him come back.
Yes. The decision to leave Westershire would have been the same. It would not have changed things. The orders had already been sent. And the Legion would not stand against the United Ghouls and the Pyramid and lose even more soldiers who could spend their lives in service better elsewhere for the life of one priester.
Very well. But what of it?
When there is no other option, Melspure, then there is glory in a last stand. But wasted sacrifice is wasted sacrifice and does not serve the Empire. It is personal, and it is emotional, and it is a waste. You must know this if you wish to lead ever.
But there is destiny, yeah? What if his destiny has been squandered? You see...
Then it is too late to do anything about it.
That is what they said when they left me behind.
Yes, and you walk a different path now. Do you regret being left behind?
No.
You are a
That
citizen
is...
of the Empire now. All things that came before have dropped away.
No, I do not regret that. But it does not mean that they were right to do so, because what you have taught me here is that I have worth. And they left me behind as if I was worthless.
And you were to them. Youth is relative to purpose, Daphne. You had no use for their purpose, but the Empire has purpose for you. And you have worth and usefulness here. Do not lose sight of that purpose, and your use will remain.
Yeah. Phil. Thank you. So,
Of
what
course.
does one do on leave?
Oh, there's still more? Get
No, I
drunk.
don't know what to do.
I don't know. Have a lot of sex. Have a lot of alcohol. Get in
Well,
some
I do the
fights.
first one anyway.
Yeah, so do some more of it and then come back ready to go on the 7th. Daphne, I'm really not the person to ask how to spend your leave. Talk with some of the ordinary legionaries.
So,
I have more important work to do.
thank you. I'll buy you a drink sometime.
Of course. But only if you leave now.
Keep Marcellus in shape. I'll walk out.
Alrighty. So I think that was the last of the role play.
Yeah, now I need to talk to Almanya real fast, because that was like textbook cryptic.
I can't figure out. I looked at all my spells. I can't figure out
I don't
what
know what
spell
she's
would allow
talking
me to
about.
travel a long distance. I looked through all of them.
Almanya has no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it might be Callista instead.
I'm like holding up my loot, like ma.
So,
It's beautiful.
I'm going to real quick describe kind of the things happening around you between now until the 7th. And then you guys can tell me kind of what you want to do in that time for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was a raised
sorry.
hand.
It was me. Yeah, but that you answered my question because I'm gonna go talk to Callista. But that's cool.
Yeah, we'll hit all of that. So, though before we do downtime, you all do need to find a place to stay outside the Mars ward. Daphne offers
Daphne
Aron's house.
Yeah, Daphne will tell them about Aron's house.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
does
available.
is everybody good going there, or did anybody want to like find an inn or something?
No, I'm
I'll
cool
go
with
there.
that. Do we know Aran? Had we met him? Did we meet him at some point?
Yep. We met him with Loravis.
Liliana did. Almanya has not met him yet.
Okay, but since Liliana has, then Almanya technically has, but she is still shocked to see a tailless dragonborn in general.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, for Almanya, this would be pretty shocking and a little bit terrifying.
Yeah. Like, how on earth are you here and not enslaved at the moment? Like, oh my gosh.
Is everybody seeing and hearing me fine?
No.
We can
No,
hear you, but you're
freezing.
frozen.
Everybody suddenly
Yeah.
froze for me, like got really blurry. I don't know if I'm frozen for everybody, but
My internet
For me,
appears to be
only
a
Mary
full
is
frame.
clear, but everybody else is
Yeah, Mary is
pixelated.
super clear.
nice.
Everybody else is fuzzy.
Oh,
How very strange.
We've lost Nick.
lost Nick.
And we lost Nick. Okay.
Yeah, I just got a message
Fantastic.
saying like your internet connectivity is crap. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got this.
that's what I got
the
too.
same.
And they were like, turn off your webcam.
I haven't gotten that
I'm not
message.
doing that. It
Apparently,
only
I'm the
likes
only
you,
good
Mary.
one. I'm the only one who has good
Yeah.
internet, apparently.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off my wireless here and see if we just plug in another. Forgot I had an extra Ethernet cord, so we're gonna do this real quick. Bear with us.
That's handy. Yeah, sorry, folks.
As we try not to give our producer a heart attack.
Unfortunately,
Sorry, Gertie.
yes.
Oh my God, my laptop
here
does
comes
not
Nick hopping
have-
back in.
It does. Nope, my laptop does not have an Ethernet port. Wow, that's
Yeah.
really dumb.
Because
Anyway.
That's the
it's
21st
cursed.
century for you.
Sorry, folks. You can hear us.
I have clear visuals, so I am in charge now, and we get to go build a
Thank you.
on, friends.
Here I
Yeah,
am,
everybody will be
here
happy.
Here I am.
My friend,
Sorry,
I
what did
hear.
you say?
Can't hear yours at all.
What'd
This
you
is
say, Nick?
fantastic. This is just wonderful.
Well, everybody's
Uh,
clearing up
you-
for me, actually, except
Yeah,
Nick's
same.
not.
Yeah, it is
Not
for me
there.
too, except Nick.
Yeah, clearing
there's
up.
Nick.
again.
Hello.
Okay,
You're back.
are we back?
Here, Nick, talk again, and we'll see if we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we can hear you. Excellent.
Yay!
Okay, that seems to have cleared up. For those of you watching live, apologies. If you're not, we cut all of that. It's all,
Edit that out.
It's gone. Nothing happened.
No, we didn't.
Mhm.
And I don't remember at all what I was saying.
You were
Right.
Yes.
Is anybody going to seek housing elsewhere, or is everybody good staying at the former slave's house?
I'm going to insist on either taking over the cooking or helping with it.
She refuses to let you take over.
Yes, that's what I thought. I can help.
But the two of you, actually, Zaetra. Actually,
Is
I think
Aran the cook?
I was going to say Aran would probably do the cooking here. Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're going to
so-
tag team it and share recipes and stuff.
Aran.
and I'm
Aran loves
hanging
it.
out with the group because I'm off. I have
Yeah.
leave. I'm hanging out with him at
You're
Aron's
totally
house.
off duty. Spend days with the group, nights in the Red Ward. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Do you know how to cook, Daphne? Because we'll teach you.
I want to help
no,
cook.
Okay, I'm helping
I
everybody
would
cook.
rather be out in the yard sparring with Zaetra. Honestly,
Too bad. Everybody should know how to boil an egg, and I will
Yes.
teach like basic,
I just-
camp
just-
cooking.
My dad
I
always
just
taught me how to
cracked him
cook,
an evening.
and
What
so
are
I
you
want to
talking
help cook too.
Yes,
Alright.
I will teach everybody how to cook.
There are way too many cooks in the kitchen.
But it's a happy
Um,
time.
The mock. There are a lot of upsets in the Maktan. A lot of Jaeger parties that were heavily favored end up losing. Nick and Mary, I think I told you that I put the librarians in this world, and they made it all the way, I think, to the round of 8. They beat out one
Yeah.
like heavily favored. It was awesome. I was
Pretty
so excited.
awesome, yeah. I also
Um,
love that somehow we got a portal from my world to your world where they could just come in for just a day and just go for it. Like, super proud of them.
There are, I'm sorry, so a bunch of like the hyper elite groups got knocked out in the first round, but the final fight ends up being between the Scarlet Flame and the Circle of Thorns. I rolled for the entire, all of the fights. It was great. And eventually the Scarlet Flame achieves final victory. As reward, they are allowed to leave for the gathering one day before any other Jaeger party. And so over the course of this time, you learn that the gathering is a several week long thing where all of the Jaeger parties basically race for different ruins and known and mapped dungeons, or risk kind of finding a new place to delve. And then it is a race to bring back the most powerful artifacts to Vreem. Vreem selects one or two of them to be placed in, basically to go to the Myth of Honor to then be rented out. And whoever brings those back, the ones that get selected, are tremendously honored. And it's very competitive. Over the course of kind of the Maktan, right, just those daily battles, a man known simply as the Storm Arrow has dominated a bunch of those fights. Occasionally he shows up and joins in with one kind of low-level Jaeger group against the other, but most often he just fights alone against full, low, medium experience Jaeger groups. He wields a longbow that's really the size of a small tree, and his arrows shatter shields. Bunch of people have reached out to him for sponsorships, and Jaegers keep asking him to join their group, but he has refused all of them. On the 23rd, the first day of the gathering, the character of the city changes quite a bit. All the banners and decorations are taken down, and though, right, the Vremans aren't really they're not a colorful people to begin with. They all adopt an even darker kind of style of dress, gray or darker tunics. Work resumes, and you notice a great deal of storytelling. And Almanya, you end up having to be heavily involved in this. These are the tellings that Andrea told you about. In kind of the greater theaters and the theater major, stories are told of all of these great figures from Vreman history. People come to listen to them, to tell them, to kind of add their own things on. In some of the minor theaters, Jaeger parties are actually invited to come in and tell to anybody who wants to come in and listen kind of the stories of their fallen. And in the neighborhoods, families kind of gather together and tell the story of their, their fall, their lost to, disease, infants who died, parents and grandparents who died of age, random sicknesses, things like that. And it's just this long period of just these tellings, just telling stories, remembering those that they've lost. And Almanya, you go and play at a bunch of those.
Yeah.
You're mostly, it's a lot of good improv work for you, actually, because you don't know the story that's coming, so you're just kind of trying to match the mood of the story with the instrument. Give me just a general performance check.
All right. Come on, don't.
Hey, there is no room for you up here. Yeah.
Nice, 24.
24, nice. You do very well, and you start to find that any of the ones that you're playing at, lots of people like to come to those and listen to those stories. And you hear the name, that's one of Andrea's, right? Things like that. You are absolutely fulfilling your debt to Andrea. Also, Almanya, if you spend the rest of your day just kind of going among neighborhoods and playing your instrument as well.
Yeah, totally do.
There is a chance each day that you do that, that it will count for 2 days of rest.
Yes.
So you'll basically be foregoing any downtime activity.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be spending about half your day playing at the tellings and then half the day just going through the neighborhoods, right? Just sitting and just relaxing and playing your own stuff and writing your own music. But each day there's a chance that you would take 2 days off your rest time and gain back your abilities.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of which, all of these performance checks we should actually have subtracted 4 from.
Oh, I guess that's true. That's okay.
Oops. Anyway, so is that okay for your downtime?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. Another note for all of you, for those of you, right, for whenever you leave, I added a rule called living it up. If you spend nights in revelry and very high quality living conditions and you eat very well, then for the next day, the next rest, even if it's way out in the wilderness, you regain all of your spent hit dice.
Nice.
So this, right, in the economy for, skipping encounters using hit dice, or not skipping, but fast forwarding, I guess, encounters using hit dice. And this stacks up to a week. I think it stacks up to 9 days. So if you spend 9 days, living it up in the evenings, eating well, staying well, then for the next 9 days, even if you're in the wilderness, every rest you will regain all of your spent hit dice. So just a note. So those are the things that are kind of happening until we get to the 7th, at which point Almanya at least and Daphne both have to report somewhere. So over the course of this time, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, how many days have I gotten through of resting?
Oh, great. Go ahead and give me, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Give me 23 performance checks and tell me how many 20 or mores you get. 20s or more.
God.
I don't know how. So go ahead and do that.
How
Vera,
do I roll
Daphne, and Gooth,
23 performance checks?
if you actually just right-click on the D20, roll
20.
and click on the 20, and then you just roll it, and then just know your modifier, add it. And we're going to add different things to it, actually, as the days go on. So just be ready with that. Vera, what are you doing with your downtime?
Well, actually, I was just looking up. Sorry, I haven't actually made the decision to start to. Actually, I think I will. I'll be practicing my Rogan.
Practicing your
For
Rogan.
in anticipation of if we're gonna level up, I'll take it in Rogue.
Speaking of Age of Empires, Rogan.
Rogan.
Good.
All
And
the way back to 1, baby.
I'll keep sparring with Leontia. I like her, and that was
okay.
fun. And I'll do that. Living well in the evening. I might not go party in public, but I will totally like sit and have quiet evenings at home with the Dragonborn.
All right.
Like knit and cook with Iran and try and get back some of that domesticness that I miss.
Okay.
But also, that being said, I am self-justifying to myself. I will also continue to meditate, specifically on the tenet of the Monks of the Shadowed Mount that says they essentially, like, the world's going to live or die as it chooses. We separate ourselves and wait for the bigger day. And I'm meditating on that and thinking that my little plan to ditch everything is actually obeying that tenet. That I'm not out of the fight. I am just going to let the world go screw itself, and my people are going to wait it out and be on top when it's over. Yes.
All right. Lawful evil. Yeah.
Lawful evil, y'all. It's the best.
Gooth, what are you doing with your downtime?
I mean, Gooth hates the city. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to do anything besides here, but he knows he's not strong enough to be anywhere but here. So naturally, that can breed a lot of hatred, spite, just frustration against the walls. I mean, damn, he told Vera that he hates the sunrise a couple days ago. So yeah, he'll spend a lot of his time investing in Quran, whether or not he truly believes his potential. He sees someone who has the heart and who wants to be great, whether or not he actually has the ability to. I think the only thing Guth can do is blind himself towards that and truly believe that he will be, despite the fact that he might just be a fucking box of rocks. He's going to spend most of his days changing into different wild shapes, giving Quran different perspectives on fights. Like, hey, if you're fighting a really large bear, you shouldn't just sit behind a shield and hope the bear doesn't break the shield. And then, hey, if you're fighting a albino death weasel, wear a face mask. All the above. So, yeah.
What if I get a magical shield that can't break? Then can I hunker behind it with the bear?
Yes.
Guth doesn't answer that question, and verbally he doesn't answer that question. Guth answers that question physically as affirmatively as possible. That I will kill you if you try to become that. Yeah.
All right. I like it. All right. Cool. And Daphne, how are you spending your leave time?
I will spend time sparring with Ziatra in the outside the house.
All right.
I will also spend as much time as Almanya is around, trying to get to know her a little bit because she's quite fascinating. I will also spend a fair amount of time with Ma, but about the time I really want to cuss, I will run away so that I can do that in peace.
Aw.
And I will also spend a fair amount of time drinking, hanging out with my friends in the Red Ward district. And also, I really want to, at some point, try tentatively to spend a little bit of time with Guth, talking about the spirits, trying to figure out what his spirits that he has in his tribe are like, comparing them to the ones that I have in my head, and just try to kind of get a better grasp of what exactly, because it frustrated my Hexen teacher that he didn't understand where my magic came from, and I didn't understand where my magic came from. So I'll try to spend some time figuring that out, and maybe I can get a little bit better at it so that I'm not a complete loss to the Hexen Corps. And one other thing, if there's time during the Maktan, I would have gone back and just hung out as high up in the stands as I could, just in hopes of maybe getting a chance to talk to some of those super cool guys. Because
they're there every time and are somehow always on the opposite side of the Coliseum from you. So like you go all the way up to the highest parts of the stand and you look around where they were yesterday. And this time they're all the way over there. So you go to that place next time. And this time they're all the way over there. So you go to that and you just can't quite seem to be in the same place at the same time.
dang it. That's really what she wants, is to hang out with those guys because they're the coolest. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Guth, how do you receive Daphne's kind of attempted company?
Guth is 100% receptive until she gives a wrong answer. I mean, that's kind of the cut and dry of it. Like, there's a long answer, and it's kind of the same way. Like, he's like, hey, I identify with you. You're the same. Until she goes like, yeah, but like, Ring is where we find all the glory. And then he just turns off. Like, 100%. Like, he's not even, like, try again tomorrow. Like, Guth sees her as someone who he, like, desperately wants to connect with, but has literally a short-circuited brain. To Guth, she has a short-circuited brain that, like, the second she starts talking about anything about Vrain, he doesn't even respond.
Well, she actually
He'll
would
walk
talk
away.
a lot about Vrain.
It's like every time I've tried to study math and it goes fine until we get to economics, and then it's just like shuts off.
Yeah. Screen.
Exactly. It's exactly like, it's just like, oh,
All
subject
right.
change, we're gone. Sorry. This was great, but I'll talk to you tomorrow until you're done talking about that.
All right. Okay. Almanya,
Yeah.
day one. What is your performance modifier?
+3 right now. It's normally +7.
So it's normally +7, so it's +3. +3 gets you 2 days there. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. For the rest of this, it's going to be +4 because that's another one. 4, good.
We're just talking about math. At least it's not economics.
I
It is
know.
lots
I
of
hate
math.
math so much. The worst.
I have to do so much math in my new
Generation
job. It's wild.
5,
Yeah, I hit calculus and blue screened.
3.
I wasn't allowed to blue screen. I had Miss Maslow as my teacher. Blue screening was not allowed.
Nope.
Katie wouldn't have let me. Yeah, blue screen.
No. Her and Mr. Thompson.
Six.
He also would not let me.
Neither of them would let you blue screen. You're right.
They were great though. I learned a lot from both of them. They were lovely.
I'd like to
Okay,
do a shout out
Almanya.
to Mr. Hagensick, my calculus teacher. I love you very much, but I never learned calculus. It was my fault. It was not your fault. He was a lovely, sweet man, and I adored him, but I never learned any calculus, even though he was a great teacher. It was me blue screening.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like with
Almanya.
languages, I'm so bad.
Man, I start counting days, and suddenly we're apologizing to old math teachers. Good grief. Almanya, you are so the reduction is down to only minus 2 at this point.
Nice.
Wait a minute, it was at 4.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3. No, it's at -1.
Yes.
And in okay, I don't think that math worked out. It's down to, I think, -1.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's what it is. No, you're -1 for ability checks, saving throws, and attack rolls, etc.
Oh, yeah.
It's still -2 for the con.
Okay.
So in 3 days, the -4 to attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks will be gone completely in the next 4 days. And in the next 12 days, you will be perfectly at home in your new body. The -5 is gone. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust your hit point total,
Woo!
which is
I have
currently
40 hit points.
26.
Yeah.
So your con was reduced by 5, which was at a -1. So now it's only at a -2. So your, you know what? I'm going to do that math later.
Okay.
For some reason, right now, it's just not
I
happening in my
assume we're
brain.
not fighting anybody within the next
So
15
1,
minutes
2,
of the
3,
game, so.
0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I'm sorry how much math the last couple of episodes have involved doing. Okay.
Okay.
And everything we got. Are we at the 7th? Vera, did you want to talk to Callista before the day?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know how long that'll take. Maybe we don't have to roleplay it since we're near the end of our time here, but basically I would essentially ask her, also clarifying, like, please don't break any oaths. I don't know whose toes I'm stepping on by asking this. Clearly it was Leontia's toes she was stepping on somebody's, as I will explain my issue about the teleportation thing and explain I need to get back to my family and appeal to her sweet nature.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
Oh God. Can I make that a passion roll?
You know what? Yes. What's your family at? Either one.
Oh. Where is that written?
Probably on your
Notes.
No,
Google
it's not there.
Drive.
I do not remember.
I
Who's
think it's
high?
probably in your Google Drive character sheet.
Very far away. I don't remember what it was. It was something high. Especially for
I feel like it was at
lowercase.
80 or something.
Yeah, I think it was like 70% or something
You're
for lowercase f family.
oh, why do I feel like this was a text you sent me?
No, because
A
you
while back.
came up with these numbers.
Well, you were like, "Hey, we never assigned numbers," and then I texted you some numbers.
I think I've
let's-
definitely seen it.
For the purposes of this, let's just call it 75.
75. That sounds right.
It's
So,
probably higher.
I do not remember this mechanic. So the heck
So-
do I do?
So roll a percentile dice, and if it's a 1 through 75, you get inspiration on your check here.
Okay. Which one is the percentile one?
The
So
D10,
right
right
click
click
on the D10, third from the
Thank
left,
you.
and then click on the percent.
I'm sorry, I can't do this. Okay, I get it.
Cool. So you can make a persuasion check and add a D8.
Excellent. Thank you, Passion. Persuasion. Add a d8. Ooh,
Wow. Rolled
lots.
an 8 on the inspiration. That is so
Worth it.
perfect.
I really miss my family, and I want to tell them in person because I finally have mustered up the courage to do it. That I actually do love them. So that's the
So with a
driving
total,
factor.
that's a total of 25. That makes a very hard DC. Callista gets a very similar look on her face as the Creed Bouncer did, as if she's like counting or like walking through something carefully, very carefully in her head, choosing wording very carefully. And as she does that, George is here.
My boy.
He's just wearing normal Freeman tunic and everything, and he's wearing an eye patch.
Of course he is.
And he has the most serious expression on his face you've ever seen. He is watching her face very carefully and almost looks ready to like jump at her and stop her from doing something.
I love him.
The best.
Only Almanya is required to assist.
Yes.
If you and anyone who'd like to go with you come with Almanya, it will take some time, but I can help.
I suspected that might be true. I will accompany my friend. I think I have reached a dead end here as to how to get home, so I will not leave her until I'm capable of doing that.
All right then. Be here on the 6th. Almanya, when do you have to be here?
7?
7th.
Yours
I
is
think-
the 7th. Daphne's is the 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm back to work a day before, I guess. I don't know.
Until the 6th. Okay. Then come with Almanya on the 7th.
I will. I take it I'll have to be let in on some part of the secret.
Indeed, on the day of, more will be revealed. But for
Thank you.
security purposes, the legions keep a very tight lid on their information.
I don't know if you can answer this, but is there any way to give me a timeline? I know you said it might take some time, but I don't see how that could break a secret, but I suppose it could.
I cannot. If you have a way of getting home quickly, before the 7th, I would take that.
Yes, I don't.
Otherwise, I can think of no other way to get there.
Right. But what I meant is how much longer after the 7th?
Yes, that I cannot tell you.
I understand. I thank you for everything you have been able to say, and I'm glad to be of service in some way before I go.
Of course, I understand family very well. Please believe me when I say I feel your pain intimately.
Thank you. I will remember it.
All right?
Okay. Wait till the 7th.
Okay. On the 6th, so we'll go ahead and do these roughly at the same time. Any final things that you guys want to do before you leave the Empire? Guth, are you going with them, or is Guth following a different path?
I feel like Guth has less of an answer than I do. I know that he knows that he's not strong enough to do it by himself. But he is unsure of the resolve of this party with at least his own mission. Regardless, he knows that he needs to follow with the other party. So I think he will. He's going to go with the other party, but in a very resolute way. So yeah.
The other party is in this party.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, he's going with a
if I
different
may,
party. He hates us.
if I may as well, right? He doesn't know where the Sky Brothers are. Right? So you
Sure, he knows that the spirits of the men who will never be spoken of again went east. And I think that he knows of the fact that this party is also going in a relative direction to that. He will.
Guth actually, until you meet on the morning of, Guth has no idea where they're going.
No, because
That has not been
Daphne can't
revealed.
tell any of you guys anything.
Right.
I mean, Guth has spent most of this time kind of forgetful of his mission, completely pouring himself into this useless whelp who he hopes will be stronger, which in itself will have a lot of implications, depending on how strong he goes. He is just pouring everything he can into something that is familiar, and what is familiar is unfairness. Just the sense of he's going to beat the shit out of this kid for the whole time.
And I imagine it's going to come across even more savagely than Guth realizes or intends.
I think I'll roll for it, only for the sense of Guth is finding solace in the struggle. And if he finds a sense of struggle in this person, I mean, he's seen the struggle. This person, like Karan, was literally almost dead, and he kept hitting him. However, there should be a sense of purposeful struggle. And that's what he's striving for. He's striving for a sense of purpose within a place that tells him that you don't need a purpose. So he's going to beat the shit out of this kid and hopefully find a purpose. And that's all the information I will give you, and I will roll and tell me what that means. I'll roll percentile, right?
I don't know what the role is for.
Okay.
I just imagine that right, Guth is working on the kid, but he's really working to like figure out purpose. The kid, correct me if I'm wrong, the sense I'm getting is that the kid is you're teaching him almost absent-mindedly as you are, right, but you're actually doing this for you. And with kind of the underlying frustration, it sounds like it might be coming across even more brutally than Guth intends.
So if you take the spirits, if you take what the center and the purpose of the cycle of life is, the struggle and the desire to continue to move forward and be better, all of that, if you place that in the context of a world that will allow you to be less than, does that even matter? And Guth is taking a kid who has found himself in a world that said, hey, it doesn't matter. But this kid still has a desire to be better than. Can you still find greatness in this? Does that make any sense? If you need to mull it over, I'll roll, and you can mull over the roll.
It's fine. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
I mean, honestly, like, this is not a one roll type of thing. Like, Guth is literally like sitting on, hey, has Vreem doomed this world? So
okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. I just have one more question.
Sure.
Would you bring Karan with you?
Depends. Yeah, it depends if I mean, the answer being, has Vreem doomed this world? If the answer is no, but kind of, then yes. Anything more than a no, like, you give me a 3%, like, this kid wants more than what has been given, then yes. He's found him.
I'm lost.
Sure.
Okay. Do you need information from me to decide?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. What information do you need?
It's up to Karan.
Okay.
So
Karan, if you mention it to him, Karan is absolutely ready to go learn more things, use his shield against a big bear.
Sure, I know he thinks he can. I beat the shit out of him while he said he could. Guth's perspective is this world broke. Vreem's world broke the world. A place where people could be coddled, destroyed what could have been. That's a lot of very abstract, which is why it's very much like Guth's still figuring it out.
Okay. So let's do this. We're gonna do the briefing that you all get kind of before this leaves, and at the end of the briefing, Guth, then I will need to know, was Karan there for the briefing, or did you leave him out of this whole thing? And if you want to wait, because we're going to end with the briefing, if you want to just think about it and tell me next week, that's fine.
Sure. All of it has to do with whether or not Karan was strong enough.
Okay.
So if you need to roll, I need to roll, all the above.
But at this point, you know what you know about Karan.
Okay.
If you're trying to figure out, like, what's his level, like, if Nick needs, if you need that to just kind of figure it out, or other, because otherwise you knows what he knows about Karan. He's kind of an idiot.
Like, not at all.
Common sense.
No.
Strong as hell.
Like, Nick knew that his speed was 0, but also needed to know if he stood up anyway. So that's like, Karan's speed was 0, but he stood up anyway. That's what Guth needs to know.
Okay. So that is what you know.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, Daphne, you and the other officers of the 3rd, along with all of the officers of the 5th Legion, are assembled probably in the, I forget what it's called, but in kind of a briefing room in the Mars ward. Vera, Almanya, Guth, Beth isn't here,
Shoji?
so we're going to assume Shoji is here.
Okay.
Gather at the Temple of the Moon Maiden, where you see Callista, George, wearing an eye patch this time.
Hell yeah.
Where are we?
Is it like a really dramatic, like we're stepping up like a set of stairs and there's like a sunset in the background? It's like, you know, we're all like in kind of a V formation. It's very dramatic.
No,
Dang it.
because Almanya, you were instructed to show up no later than the 8th bell of the first watch.
So 8 in
which
the
is
morning?
which is actually basically just prior to dawn. So yeah,
Oh,
you know what?
okay.
Yes, you guys are walking up in a V formation, Almanya at the tip of the spear as the
Hell yeah.
sun comes way up to the east. And you walk into the temple. You see Callista, you see George, you see Zasheda, who you met with the 5th on the way back from Worcestershire. She was Garrett's replacement. And you see a priester you've never seen before. If I could find my description of people. No.
I'm sorry, Josh. Just to clarify again, because I think I understood what you're doing. We're not in the same. I'm not in the same place as the party right now.
Correct, Daphne. You
I'm
and the
with the
command
brass.
staff. You
Okay.
are, however, receiving essentially the same briefing.
Okay.
I
I see George. I give him like a little wave.
he is standing very like stiff, and he tilts his head slightly at you, as if he winked at you, but his one eye that you see didn't close. So
Yes.
the 4th person that you see there is a half elf, but just kind of a very large half elf. She's pretty fat. She's got kind of rough pink skin that always looks like it's just been kind of scrubbed. And she's just sitting there with a large pipe, just kind of smoking. She's dressed in full like priester regalia. And she just kind of eyes you guys as you come into the room. There are a number of other Jaegers there as well. I shouldn't say other Jaegers, except Guth, you're a Jaeger. So yeah, other Jaegers. You're maybe 10 or so. You're not sure because the briefing starts almost immediately. I'll do this as Callista. It is time for the temple to return to its birthplace.
In the woad?
Though this may sound unbelievable to you, the woad is open.
I wrote a song about that.
A year ago, a Jaeger party entered the woad from the far north and sailed out of the river into the inland sea. And from there came to Vreen. This information is known only to the High Chancellor, myself and George, and the commandants of the 5th and 3rd Legions.
And Lorbeez.
And Lorbeez, that's true. It goes without saying that you are all forbidden from speaking of this with anyone but yourselves and those that I have mentioned. The political and economic implications of a path through the woad I will leave to others. You are all here to help us take back our home. You will, regardless of your official status, you will be given missions and assignments for which you will be paid. And when the temple, the real temple, has been taken back, you will be free to go your own way. It will take us several months to get there. It will likely be several weeks of cleansing until whatever has infested the place in the year since we left it is done. Until then, you will be under the authority of the Legion and myself. George, am I forgetting anything? Oh yeah, you're forgetting the best part. What? We're gonna kill some shit? We're gonna find some great treasure? Nope. Shit, that's all gonna belong to the temple. Well, we're gonna kill some shit, and that's gonna be awesome. So yeah, get pumped. And there's kind of a little the disparity between Callista's very somber speech and George's is catches kind of the Jaegers off guard. One of them's like, yeah. Daphne, you receive a very similar information, but with kind of the political and economic aspect as well. It is your commandant, Oberkommandant Valar Korva, kind of addressing the whole command staff here. All right. We're marching into Zwod. As you know, no one has come out of Zwod in over 300 years, barring the matriarch and a small group of Jaegers that accompanied her. We will be doubling the watch and having watch times, so that all, she's speaking specifically to the Meld Spear, you guys are kind of the officers of the watch. So watch times will be halved, staff will be doubled, so that fresh eyes are always on duty. We are running this by the book. We are going carefully. We will be marching at top speed through the wilderness so that the denizens cannot amass and overwhelm us. And once we reach the road, frankly, all bets are off. We do not know what lives there. And threats could come from anywhere in any size. This is why we are assigning 2 legions to this. Perhaps I do not have to explain the implications of a pass through the road, but just shows that we are all clear and we understand the need for secrecy. With the inland sea closed to all passage, this is the only lifeline that the West has. If the West falls, then there will be little left for us to save. We will march through the road. We will recapture the city known as Mindon Ithil, and we will bring salvation to the Alliance, to Onisher, and to the hegemony, whatever they say to the contrary. Controlling this route will give us quite the upper hand. However, our primary objective is to re-establish the Temple of the Moon Maiden. So, task 1, reach the road. Task 2, find and secure Mindonethil. Cleanse it. There are several Jaeger parties that will do most of the delving, and we will refortify the place and prepare for any counterattacks that the Borderlands or the Alliance or anyone else who might find out that the road is passable might launch against us. And once the temple has been established, the 3rd Legion will march through the road on the Alliance city of Arkal. So, if there are any questions, and at that point, kind of the questions get fired out and raised. We're about 10 minutes after 9, so we'll go ahead and pause there. And when we pick up next session, we will leave the Empire. So.
Oh, geez.
Oh, gee.
How long did they say it was going to take us?
I'm sorry?
How long did they say it was going to take us to get there?
At least a couple of months to get there.
Okay.
Just to
my thing.
clarify,
Yes.
did Callista mean that we're just walking to Onashur?
From what Callista told you, you are marching to Mindanathil, which will take a couple of months and then probably a couple of weeks to then cleanse it. At which point you guys are free to go.
Yes.
We don't have that kind of time.
Daphne knows that the 3rd Legion will then be marching through the Woad to
Arkal.
Arkal, which is one of the northwestern cities. Almanya, this does mean your little brother will be gone by then.
Yeah. What I was asking was, can I establish from this information what was Callista talking about getting to Onashur then?
Well, you can go overland to Onashur if you go that
yeah.
way.
But it's part that way, but then
so you would
we'd have to separate.
For more, you would have to talk to her. But the other options for getting across would basically be marching even further north all the way through the borderlands. And then basically getting through a ruined city and hoping, like essentially building your own boat, or going all the way south through some extremely dangerous mountains and hoping to make it to the Elven colonies and maybe taking a ship around.
Are we going to level up before we leave, or is that not in the cards?
Not before you leave, no.
Okay.
I guess I'm still confused because I've got the map in my head.
Let me answer your. Let's go ahead and close out the session.
Yeah,
and then I
sorry.
will answer logistical questions. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope to see you again next Friday, as once again it starts getting worse. In the meantime, join Becca and crew on Monday where they play 13th Age. We invite you to follow and subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels, or visit us on iconicproduction.wordpress.com, where you can follow us on social media, find our podcasts, or support us on Patreon. Thank you so much. And until next week, we hope you stay happy, healthy, and safe.